the Chargers have their hands on the football. That is Don Woods picking up a couple of yards. For those of you watching the Seattle-Pittsburgh game, the Steelers won it 21-10. We welcome you to our telecast. We're in San Diego, California. I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. Offensively, Dan Fouts, your quarterback, Bo Matthews at fullback. Running back is Don Woods, and your wide receivers.
Yeah, headed by Jefferson, the good-looking rookie, and Charlie Jr., a very, very steady performer, and Bob Klein, another veteran performer who performs well.
2nd down and 7 to go. We have no score. Oakland has just fumbled the football away. Van Egan fumbled. Kelcher got the recovery. Fouts back for his first pass. Has Woods, but goes downfield, and there's that man. There's that man. Charlie Joyner, the good, steady performer. They're looking at Jefferson, and he goes to Joyner. A year ago, Joyner was his primary target.
Well, Charlie Joyner is a veteran pass receiver who knows how to maneuver. At that time, he slipped around Willie Brown and broke to the outside on the safety and made a nice catch on the corner just before he stepped out of bounds.
22-yard pass play, takes it out to the 35. Artie Owens checks in as you watch again the catch of Joyner. He goes out after the hit. Fouts handing off, and that is Bo Matthews getting perhaps a yard.
Number 41, Bo Matthews, the ball carrier.
2nd down and 10 to go in the offensive line. Billy Shields and Russ Washington at the tackles. Doug Wilkinson and Ed White at the guards. With a big change at guard, Ed White, brought over from Minnesota to get some muscle in there. They have not been able to handle the 34 defense too well. Ralph Beretta is at center. Charlie Joyner has checked back in. 2nd down and 10 to go. Matthews in motion to the right. Fouts back to throw. Fouts throws over the middle, and a flag goes down. That is Johnny Jefferson making his first catch of this game. Flag goes down. Should be enough for the first down, and we'll look at Jerry Mark White, the referee. Preliminary indication will be what, Jerry? Pass interference.
John Jefferson was jammed awfully hard. He may have been hit more than one time coming off the line of scrimmage, but he really showed some poise there. He went down, still had enough poise to get up, catch the ball. San Diego had an option of either taking the catch or taking the first down by penalty.
Artie Owens comes in. Dan Fouts now talking with Mark Bright. Has signaled a first down. And they're going to move the sticks.
Illegal chuck, 37, defense, decline, first down.
First down from the 46-yard line. Jefferson wide to the left. There's their defensive line with Tuzak, the D-man McCoy, and Sistrom. Don Woods trying to get outside, does get outside, makes a nice move and picks up perhaps 5 yards out to midfield.
And on number 33, Don Woods, a pickup of
Woody Hall ran him out of bounds. Your linebackers, the Stork, Ted Hendricks. Inside, Monty Johnson. Didn't like an interference called against him last week. Charlie Hall and Phil Filippiano, and they're the deep backs.
Well, there have been a few changes in the deep backs, but one performer, number 24, Willie Brown, they're still there. He's been there for 16 years, and he's playing well.
2nd down and 5 to go. It's Bob Klein, the tight end, going to the other side. No score. Whoops. Hold it. That is Billy Shields, the left tackle, who moved, and it'll be 2nd down now and 10 to go instead of 2nd and 5.
That's the kind of thing that San Diego cannot have happen to them today, Jim. They're trying to stay out of these situations where they're in the must-run situation and the must-pass situation because Oakland changes their defensive scheme.
Artie Owens and Charlie Joyner are alternating from the bench, bringing in plays to Dan Fouts. Jefferson is on the left side, and Owens trots out to the right. 9:40 to go, first quarter. Oakland was able to move the football very well, and thus far San Diego has had good success. And there's a pass thrown out there, complete down the sideline. Goes on Woods. First down, step down at the 26-yard line. Lester Hayes drove him out of bounds, but it's the first down, San Diego.
Don nice receiver, and Lydell Mitchell is going to find it very difficult to get into this starting lineup. This time Fouts looks downfield, but he hits Woods on a swing pass, who's covered by Monty Jackson, and it's just a mismatch. Jackson stretches out for him, but can't get him, and
29-yard pass play.
To be a nice run.
Bo Matthews, and a blocker in front of him, and Bo bowls inside the 20-yard line. Picks up 7 or 8 yards. Bo Matthews. Doug Wilkerson leading the way for him, and let's watch that one again.
Well, the offensive line on the left side, number 63, Wilkerson, and number 66, Shields, doing a very fine job of controlling the Oakland Raider defensive linemen and giving these backs the line of scrimmage so that they can turn upfield and gain some yardage.
Give Bo Matthews 9 yards on that play. The ball is at the 17, 8:55 to go in the first quarter. Remember, Oakland was beaten here a year ago when Ken Stabler went down and hurt in the first quarter. Passing Woods. Steps out at the 9-yard line. First down and goal to go San Diego. Don Woods has made 2 big catches in this drive.
Well, Don Woods is proving his value here as both a runner and pass receiver, and he's absolutely giving the Oakland linebackers just fits. Didn't have quite enough room to run right there. But give this guy a little bit of territory to run on the field, and he's going to gain you some yardage, whether it's running or catching the football.
Fouts is 4 for 4 for 69 yards. The lone setback is Matthews, who goes straight ahead. Down to perhaps the 7-yard line. Now remember, Oakland took the ball at their own 29 and marched down to the 11, where Mark Van Egan lost the football at the 9-yard line, and this drive started back there. Remember, Artie Owens and Charlie Joyner are alternating, bringing in plays from the bench. The ball is at the 7, 2nd down, goal to go. Jefferson out wide to the right, Owens to the left. Don Woods blockers in front of him, but swinging it out very well. Swinging it out very well. It is Phillips who made the hit, but Ted Hendricks had a lot to do with making that happen. Knocks him back to the 11-yard line. And it's 3rd down and goal to go from the 11. And Lydell Mitchell comes into the backfield. Number 26. Now let us see whether or not Don Woods comes out. He does, or whether they might move Woods over to fullback. But Matthews, an excellent blocker, stays in. Mitchell, remember, is an excellent pass receiver as well as runner. 3rd down and goal to go. Fouts looking, throwing, and overthrows Klein. Klein had his man beat. Ted Hendricks at the goal line, and Fouts overthrew him.
Well, it was tough luck for Dan Fouts there. He was looking around trying to make a decision just whom he should throw the football to. He saw Bob Klein a little late, released the ball a little fast and a little high, and so San Diego's going to have to go for the field goal.
Wernerska's coming in to attempt the field goal. The ball will be spotted by the holder, Mike Fuller, at the 19-yard line. He is working on his 14th consecutive field goal. It will be at 29 yards. And it is no good. After 13 in a row, extending back to 1977, Wernerska misses. We've got 7:13 to go in the first quarter. They've marched up and down the field. Oakland had a chance to score but fumbled. San Diego had a chance to score, but the field goal was no good. And there's no score.
Final score is National Football League, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, the Oakland Raiders certainly showed what kind of character they have in a situation like that, Jim. This team, San Diego, marched the entire length of the football field. Oakland tightened its defenses when they had to and stopped them and blocked the kick. So we still have no score. Good football game.
Branch left, Biletnikoff right, Van Egan the low setback. He has got the football and some room out to the 24. 2nd down and 6. First quarter score, Miami over Baltimore, 7-0. Norris Thomas intercepted a pass and ran 53 yards for a score. Final, Washington held on, led at one time 35-16, but held on to win 35-30 as Wilbert Montgomery scored 4 touchdowns in that football game. Chicago leads San Francisco first quarter 3-0. 2nd down and 6 to go. Davis, boy, they stack up. His block is in front of him. Will run it out of bounds. Outstanding defensive play by the Chargers.
Well, the Chargers did make an outstanding defensive play. I'm going to second guess Clarence Davis on this particular run. I think he should have made his cut inside of Art Shell right here, but instead he goes outside. He drifts and allows the defensive team to pursue and close in on him. If he could have made that cut at the precise moment, perhaps he could have gained some yardage, but it's easier for me to see up here.
3rd down and 13 to go. Stabler on the draw and almost losing the football again is Van Egan. But holds on to it, and it's 4th down and long. Well, Oakland, the first time they had possession of the football, marched all the way down to the 11-yard line before losing the football. This time, they're stymied, and Ray Guy will come in to kick it away. Guy had 4 kicks in Mile High Stadium a week ago and averaged 48 yards. Mike Fuller, number 42, drops back. There is Ray Guy, standing inside his own 5-yard line. Just over, Cleveland has defeated Cincinnati 13-10 in overtime. The Browns are now 2-0, and the Bengals are 0-2. And Guy gets this one away. Fuller calls for fair catch at the 44-yard line. That'll be 1st and 10. 5:44 left to go in the first quarter. A 36-yard kick, excellent hang time, but not up to the 48-yard standard that Ray Guy set thus far.
Not up to the standard, Jim, but you're right. The hang time was excellent. It didn't give San Diego much of a time to set up their punt return. The Raider defenders were right down there, Johnny on the spot to cover it.
This ball game, a sellout, has been a sellout since Wednesday. Absolutely perfect weather, and the Chargers and Raiders are charged for this 2nd game of the season. Outs on 1st down to Bo Matthews, who picks up a few out near the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7 from there. When San Diego beat Oakland here last year 12-7, when Ken Stabler went out, they ran the ball 58 times. Very seldom passed. 263 yards. It is their only win in their last 19 tries against Oakland. They won last year, and it was their first one here, win here against Oakland since 1968. 2nd down and 7. Fouts and Matthews taken down by Villapiano. Welcome to all of you who have just joined us from the Cincinnati-Cleveland game, won in overtime by Cleveland 13-10. The people in Ohio, they're a little bit split, Paul. Bengals are 0-2 and the Browns are 2-0. Some people are happy and some people are sad.
Well, it depends on what sector of the state that you live in. If you're from northeastern Ohio like me, you're a pretty happy fellow.
3rd down and 11 to go. Lydell Mitchell checks back in. Matthews has carried the ball 5 times thus far and has picked up a net of 7 yards. Fouts back on 3rd down. Fouts looking over the middle. Lydell Mitchell has the ball popped up in the air. Picked up by Villapiano. And down to the 45-yard line where he falls very near a flag. That has also been thrown. Tommy Prothro said, I don't know what's going to happen to Lydell Mitchell. He hasn't carried a ball in a regular season game since last December, let alone in a game. He said, I'm afraid if he gets the ball, he might fumble the first time.
Well, Tommy Prothro turned out to be quite a prophet, because the very first time Lydell Mitchell did receive the ball, well, they got a break there with a face mask ruling on the Oakland Raiders, and so San Diego is going to keep the football.
A turnover is negated. The Raiders have already turned the ball over once. And here's Jerry Markwright.
Grabbing the face mask, 36, defense, 1st down. It was an incompleted pass.
Incomplete pass, not a fumble. And Mike Davis was guilty of the face mask charge. Got his 1st down and 10 from the 49-yard line. 4:22 to go first quarter. And no score. Lydell Mitchell in there place of Don Woods, who had an outstanding early part of this quarter, catching 2 passes for long yardage. Mitchell carries the ball for the first time as a Charger and gets into Raider territory at the 48-yard line. Our telecast today presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. 2nd down, 7 from the Raider 48. Mitchell carrying again and getting down to the 45-yard line. Will be 3rd down and nearly 5 yards to go. And Don Woods is coming back in. Willie Hall made the tackle.
Jim, I'd like to make a point. Dan Fouts did something. He came right back to Lydell Mitchell after that ball popped out of his hands, and I think that's going to give Lydell the necessary confidence.
Final score, Kansas, well, they're in the 4th quarter. Let's check that. Kansas City, which beat Cincinnati with that wing tee last week, putting it to Houston, which lost to Atlanta last week. Big 3rd down situation. Johnny Rodgers is in the football game. They've got 3 wide receivers. As Fouts goes back to throw, has a wide receiver, and that is Johnny Rodgers, and it is an incomplete pass. He slipped, the band fell on him, but it was in the act of slipping. He was not knocked down, and it is 4th down. And Jeff West comes on. Mike Davis, the defender.
San Diego is going to the 3 wide receiver offense to counter what Oakland does in short passing situations with 5 defensive backs. They feel that Johnny Rodgers can work on one of the safeties and break open on the middle of the field.
Neil Colsey has come in, and Colsey is standing now at about the 15. That is Jeff West, who had 1 punt a week ago, go a total of 5 yards. He's only averaging 24 yards per punt as a result. Gets it away, and this is heading for the end zone, and into the end zone, and out of the end zone. Raiders will take over 1st and 10. 2:57 to go. Each team has had the opportunity, and neither team has been able to score. Leading Bud Wilkinson's Cardinals by the score of 3-0. By the way, Bud Wilkinson featured today on NFL 78, and Miami's leading Baltimore, as we told you, 7-0. Going absolutely nowhere because of Louis Kelcher is Mark Van Egan. And it's 2nd down and 9. Kelcher's the one who recovered the fumble. And it is Louis who is playing with a hip pointer today, but everybody else is pretty well off.
Couldn't tell it on that play, Jim, and certainly on the fumble recovery. He's just about everywhere on the football field today.
Branch left, Biletnikoff to the right. Van Egan and Davis are setbacks. And there goes Stabler. Getting up in the pocket land. The ball is intercepted. At the 35-yard line, another big break for the San Diego Chargers. And that is Hal Stringer. That's the 2nd turnover for the Raiders. They fumbled the ball and now an interception.
Well, it looks like it's a little bit of miscommunication on this pattern. Branch breaks to the middle of the field. The ball is thrown over his head to the outside, right into the waiting arms of Hal Stringer. Just don't see that happen very often. Miscommunication between an Oakland Raider quarterback and a wide receiver.
Once again, the Chargers have excellent field position. They missed on a 29-yard field goal attempt earlier. Bo Matthews and Lydell Mitchell are the backs. Don Woods is not in there. Lydell Mitchell gets his first big burst and picks 7 or 8 yards off before he's hurled back. 2nd down and 8 to go. And the Charger fans who have seen Mitchell only for a couple of plays now are already booing the Raider defense for putting Lydell down rather hard.
Mitchell goes off the right tackle this time behind guard Ed White and center Ralph Peretta, and does some good hard running on his own before being lifted by Jack Tatum and also by Charles Phillips.
Artie Owens to the left, John Jefferson to the right, and Bo Matthews straight ahead, and he's got the first down. Against the 3-4 defense, the Chargers have lost 11 out of 15 games. And 12 times this year, they will be going against a 34 defensive ball club. And that is one of the reasons why they gave up a back like Ricky Young to get Ed White. They need some muscle up front.
Well, they look pretty good here. They also brought in Ray Perkins as their offensive coordinator, and he's from the New England Patriots, and they employed the 3-4 defense in the American Conference Football Eastern Division.
Both wide receivers to the right. The ball at the 24-yard line. And Bo Matthews comes across to the left and gets down to the 20-yard line. They'll mark it at the 21, so give him a pickup of 3, and it's 2nd down and 7. As time begins to run out here in the first quarter. 45 seconds and counting. Matthews, a #1 draft choice 5 years ago. Matter of fact, was only the 2nd man picked in the 1974 draft. Question, who was the first? I'll answer it for you. Ed Too Tall Jones.
Not a bad pick.
Not a bad pick at all. Second down for Matthews. Room outside. Loses his way inside the 15-yard line and near another first down. Matthews shy, it looks to be, by about a yard. It'll be 3rd down and short to go.
Well, something happened on this play as Matthews started swinging wide that you just don't see very often. Phil Villapiano had a clean shot at him, but missed him. Matthews scampers around him, picks up some extra yards, and runs over the tackler right there. Good hard run.
All right, we've run out of time in the first quarter, and there's been no score. And again, the Chargers are threatening. We'll be back with the second quarter after these messages from your local station. San Diego, I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield as we're about to begin the second quarter. And the Chargers have the ball, 3rd and about a yard to go. 2 tight ends are in there, and there's an announcement being made right now to those here that in the box of Gene Klein, the owner of the Chargers on your right, you can tell who the man is on your left. The former president of the United States, Gerald R. Ford, is a guest here for this game today. And I would say, Paul Warfield, that the former president has seen quite a first quarter at least.
Certainly has. This has been one exciting football game. Both teams have moved the ball exceptionally well. We haven't seen a score yet, but San Diego is knocking on the door.
3rd down and a yard to go. Both Klein and Kern, the tight ends, are in there. Kern on the left side. Don Woods has replaced Lydell Mitchell. He is a good, strong, tough runner, as is the fullback, Bo Matthews. For those of you who are watching other games, the Raiders march down to the 11. Fumble the ball away. Chargers came down, could not get the field goal, and now have intercepted a pass and have started this drive on the 35. And Fouts on 3rd and short is going to throw into the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown! Now there's a new rule because I believe that went off one Charger to another, but these days it makes no difference.
Certainly doesn't. It's a touchdown by any standard for San Diego. I was just going to say the Fouts made a wrong decision in trying to throw the ball into trouble, but it turns out that it ends up as a touchdown. Here's Fouts. He's looking over to the middle of the field, looking for the wide receiver, John Jefferson. He's trying to hit Jefferson, but it goes off a Raider defender's hand, right in the hands of Pat Kieran.
My point was, Paul, that had it gone off the San Diego defender's hand, receiver's hand, it would have made no difference. You can touch it, but it was a Raider that touched it. Not a Charger, but the results are the same. Curran caught it. Konerski adds the extra point. 14:55 to go, and it is San Diego that has scored first. It's 7-0. There's Bob Curran, who caught the pass, and this is what happened.
Van Fouts looking for John Jefferson, but Mike Davis bats the ball up into Curran's hands, and he's a very happy fella. And why shouldn't he be? He just scored 6 points.
Konerski will kick off 5 plays, 35 yards, set up by the interception by Hal Springer. Terry Robisky and Arthur Whitman are deep, and the ball fell off the tee, so we'll go back and start all over again. San Diego, everybody knows, is a very, very young ball club. The Raiders, everybody knows, many expect to see in the Super Bowl in mid-January. San Diego started well. The Raiders have been sputtering, even though they played well against Denver. This will be Robisky. No, Whittington picks it up, and it's going to the 23-yard line. Art Whittington brings it back to the 23-yard line. First down, and again, this is what happened to the Raiders on the 3rd and short yardage pass from Dan Fouts.
Here it is again. Fouts looking for John Jefferson, breaking right to left in your screen. But Mike Davis goes up, can't quite hold on to it. Oops, look what I've got. Pat Kieran.
Well, what frustration for Davis. That ball was right in his hand.
Certainly was.
At the 23.5-yard line, Branch comes left. Biletnikoff goes right. Davis sets up with the flanker. Fake to Van Egan. Stabler back to throw, and down he goes, and that's Big Hands Johnson. Gary Johnson, number 79, that hit him first.
Well, that's the game plan of the Charger defense, is to harass Ken Stabler. Tommy Prothero has called Ken Stabler one of the most accurate passers in pro football, and he is. And they just feel that they cannot give Stabler the time to go back there, set up, and throw the football, or else they're going to be in trouble.
A loss of 10 yards last week against Denver. Stabler was sacked but once, but he gets it here. Look at Big Hands.
Well, he whips Gene Upshaw. Started to call him Marvin. He has a brother, Marvin Upshaw, who played for Kansas City a few years ago.
Bradshaw is in now, wide. Out as is Branch, and the ball is thrown for Branch on his fly pattern. He's got the football. Branch looked down for a moment to see where he's going, and it just showed to me, Paul, that receivers and throwers know each other, because he looked up just at the right moment to see the ball float into his hand.
Well, Jim, that ball was actually thrown before Cliff Branch had an opportunity to locate it, but he and Ken Stabler have worked so well together over the years, and especially on that deep streaking pattern down the middle of the field, that Stabler knows where Branch is going to be.
Wholesale replacements there. Pete Banaszak comes in. Whittington comes in.
It's a great catch by Branch here.
And this is Whittington, and no place to go. Look at Mike Fuller. Nobody was out in front of him. And Fuller, the strong safety, had a clear shot.
Well, what the Chargers secondary is weak in, covering passes, they certainly make up for an aggressive play. Fuller came up and closed in and stopped that play for a loss.
2nd down and 15 to go. Morris Bradshaw, Mark Van Egan. In the ball game. And Stabler back to throw. Has his man Casper, and Casper makes a great catch inside the 10-yard line. Casper dropped a couple last week, and that's his 3rd of the day, and 2 of them have been remarkable catches.
They have been remarkable catches. And that time, Dave Casper looked like he had 2 defenders on him. And how do you stop a guy like that? How do you stop Branch or Biletnikoff, too? Stabler's looking for Casper going down the middle. He makes a great over-the-shoulder catch again. Completely extended, holds on to the football, and nearly takes it in for 6 points.
1st and goal to go at the 6. At one time, remember, the Raiders were first down at the 11, but fumbled the football away. They trailed 7-0, but they have come right back. Stabler looking to throw to Casper. Touchdown. Casper was about the only man in the pattern. 2 men on him, and Stabler delivered the ball right to him.
It never ceases to amaze me, Jim. It seems like the Oakland Raiders run this play with the fake into the line. Casper fakes a block and then breaks over the middle time and time again, but it works, and it works for 6 points all the time, so something good wide to rush from it. Here's the play again from another angle. Casper taking it in for 6 points.
4 catches, 1 touchdown. Stabler and Casper have been something, and Stabler's got to be happy to get his first touchdown pass of the year. By this time, he usually has 4 or 5.
Certainly does. I'm sure that the snake was beginning to wonder what's happening during the 1978 NFL football season.
You weren't going to say snake bit. You wouldn't do that, would you? Earl Mann, who led the league last year in scoring points, and they had the extra point tied up and done. 12:08 to go. We're just in the 2nd quarter. There's a lot more to happen yet. And we've got a tie ball game. San Diego has scored first 7 and Oakland 7. I'm just watching with you. The Dallas Cowgirls, the San Diego cheerleaders, the embraceable youths are all over the league now. Artie Owens takes this ball at the 4-yard line. Oh, my. Woo! As he leveled. Mike Davis made the hit.
Artie Owens is a real speedster. He has about 9.2 speed, but he never actually had an opportunity to get going. Mike Davis really came in and made a bone-crushing tackle.
Ball at the 16-yard line. Next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern Time, NFL 78 starts it all off, and we'll have a feature, by the way, on these Chargers. Rogers is one wide receiver, Joyner the other, and Fouts hands off instead to Woods, and Woods picks up good yardage. 5 to 6 yards out across the 20. At 1 o'clock Eastern Time next Sunday afternoon, these are some of the games that you can see. Cleveland undefeated at Atlanta, which is playing the Rams this afternoon. Kansas City undefeated against the Giants. Pittsburgh against Cincinnati, which is winless, and Seattle and those surprising New York Jets. Oakland will be at Green Bay at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and Paul Warfield's team gets Buffalo next week, and San Diego goes on to Denver. Second down, and let's make it 3.5 to go. And Bo Matthews will try to get the 3.5, but is in a traffic jam. It'll be third down and a couple of yards.
Not very much running room there. Big John Matuzak, man mounted, seemed to just jam up things right in there.
Third down and short yardage to go. And Lydell Mitchell comes in on this situation. Mitchell has been used coming out of the backfield thus far as a pass receiver and has carried the ball. Joyner also comes in. And they now have 3 wide receivers. And Matthews is the man who comes out, not Don Woods. Fouts looking, delivering over the head of Klein. Tatum was coming up from behind him, and the ball was over the outstretched hands of Bob Klein. And it's 4th down.
Well, it looked like Dan Fouts had Bob Klein open on that play over the middle for the first down. Pass was thrown just a little bit high. Whenever Jack Tatum is in the neighborhood, pass receivers have to be a little bit wary.
All right. How about Paul Warfield when Jack Tatum was in the neighborhood?
Well, he treated me fairly kindly because I'm a fellow alumnus from Ohio State University.
He knew that as he was coming up on you?
Yes.
Here, 45-yard kick by Jeff West, his first time out, to be kicking the ball away to Colsey. Gets the ball away high, not as long. Colsey says, I'll take a fair catch, and does at the 39 or 40-yard line. And the Raiders will have the football again. An excellent field position out near midfield. We've got 10:25 left. We're just in the first half. Baseball, scarcely 20 games to go. Boston will be at New York next weekend. They're playing today in the 8th inning at 7-4 New York. If that score holds up, it'll be a sweep for the Yankees, and they'll be dead even in the American League East. Each team will have won 86 and lost 56. Pittsburgh, which had won 11 in a row, has now lost its last 3 in a row. That does not include what they've done today. First down for Stabler, 40-yard line, dumps it out. Clarence Davis across the 40 and picks up 6 yards out to the 46-yard line, where it'll be second down and 4 to go. Run out of bounds by Good, Don Good, the linebacker.
Well, this is the beauty of the Oakland offense with a guy like Davis, who's really an unheralded ball player. He runs well, and he catches the ball well out of the backfield, and he can give you a little bit of added strength to go along with those other 3 great receivers they have.
Well, the Chargers started this game after 1 game in the National Football League, last in the AFC in pass defense. And they've had some troubles today, but against the run, they've been very good. And Don Good is down at the bottom of that pile again.
28, Clarence Davis. Davis tackle number 50, Don Good. No gain.
In overtime, Cleveland 13-10 over Cincinnati. Cleveland undefeated. Cincinnati hasn't won yet. Pittsburgh wins its second, 21-10 over Seattle. They've lost 2. Dallas had a little trouble for a little while, but managed to win their second, and the Giants are now 1-1. Washington, despite Wilbert Montgomery's 4 touchdowns, held on to beat Philadelphia. The Redskins now 2-0, and the Eagles now 0-2. Third down and 3 to go, and Stabler is going to throw for it. Has lots of time, and now runs out as Dean hits it. Number 71, Dean, followed by Big Hands Johnson.
Well, Fred Dean is 6'3", 228 pounds, and he's going up against Art Shell, who is only 6'5", 275 pounds, but somehow or another he managed to get around.
The interesting thing is that when Stabler was sacked the first time, they beat Upshaw on the left side, and when he was sacked that time, they beat Shell on the left side.
So they're going at Oakland on the strong side of their offensive line.
Ray Gott to kick the ball away. Mike Fuller is the deep man. Mike Williams is about 7 yards in front of him. pass, gets the ball away, and will go out of bounds, and that is not a particularly great kick for Ray Guy. They will mark the ball inside the 25-yard line at the 24. 9:04 to go. What a ball game it has been, and it's all tied 7-7. Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. Houston has managed to win its first game, and Kansas City, which was leading late in the ball game, lost. Green Bay is now 2-0. Packers off to a fine start. New Orleans is now 1-1. First down from the 24-yard line. Second man through. Don Woods picks up a couple of yards. Second down and 8. McCoy, Mike McCoy, the man that they traded to get from Green Bay. He was the #1 draft choice there out of Notre Dame years ago, 9 years ago. He was waived. David Rowe was in the middle last week against Denver, and once the ball game was over, Rowe was cut, simply cut, and Mike McCoy was told to come back, and there he is in the middle. Second down. John Jefferson has a slight neck injury, but is expected to come back and play. He is not in there now. Johnny Rodgers is. Don Woods had a little trouble trying to get away from Lester Hayes and could not get away from Lester Hayes, who made the stop. And it'll be third down and 7 to go. San Diego, Paul, the first 2 times it had the football, could move the football. Last couple of times they've been unable to move the football.
Well, they didn't hit a couple of third down plays that they needed to keep drives going. This is another third down situation. They're a must-pass situation. Oakland is going to counter with their 5 defensive back scheme, so we'll see how the Chargers do.
3 wide receivers and Mitchell and Woods in the backfield. Both of them can catch the football. Bounce back, Bounce delivers. Johnny Rodgers flag. There's a flag thrown over here on number 24, Willie Brown, who was defending against the tight end.
I don't think the officials are going to be too happy with that check that Willie Brown utilized.
Willie Brown is the man. It's going to be a first down.
Illegal chuck. 24. Defense. Decline. First down.
Because they got the first down on the completed pass.
Well, they caught the old pro with his hands in the cookie jar. Well, there it is right there. Now that's 37, Lester Hayes. We don't have the picture of foul that they called on Willie Brown.
That's the 8th first down. Bo Matthews has come back into the backfield now. And that is Lydell Mitchell. You know, it's a funny thing. They said that John Jefferson looks like Lance Allred. You could take Lydell Mitchell and put him in any place, any team you want, and see him go inside the tackles, and you could say that's Lydell. Just looks the same.
Certainly does. He has a unique running style. It's really a signature of its own.
Steve Grogan, 5-yard run, and Bud Wilkinson is saying how do you do to the National Football League for the 2nd week in a row. He lost last week. Miami beating Baltimore. The Colts fangless without their top 2 quarterbacks. Bounce delivers, has a man, and is Johnny Rodgers. Second catch. First down inside the 50-yard line.
Well, Johnny Rodgers is getting an opportunity to play with John Jefferson out on the sidelines right now. Rodgers has found himself behind Jefferson, but he's a big play man, and the Chargers are going to win.
Must have heard me say that they haven't been able to move the football the last 2 times they had it because Rodgers makes his second catch here.
Rodgers is in a slot formation inside, and he makes a hooking pattern over the middle, finds a spot in the zone defense, and makes a nice catch.
First down. He was the first draft choice years ago. This is Lydell Mitchell, and Mitchell dragged down by Matuzak after he crosses the 45 down to the 44. A gain of 5. Second down and 5, and Mitchell said, I'm going to come out for a minute. But Don Woods will come back in. The New York Jets, who won big last week over Miami, are losing to Buffalo. Rome intercepted a Richard Todd pass and won 85 yards for the score. And second quarter, they said this would be a low-scoring game. It is. No score. Atlanta and Los Angeles. Our score is 7-7. It is second down and 3 to go. Matthews and Woods the setbacks. That is Don Woods with blockers in front of him. And Don Woods is burst inside the 30-yard line and run out of bounds by Jack Tatum at the 27. First down the Chargers.
So Don Woods got some great blocking at the point of attack and running the sweep outside. He even got a key block from number 20, Johnny Rodgers. It helped spring him going down the sidelines.
From the 22-yard line, it'll be first down for the Chargers. And Don Woods, a rookie of the year, had a great run with good blocking
right here. He's got number 63, Doug Wilkerson, the fine offensive guard ahead of him. That's always a runner's delight to have a big man ahead of you, clear out the way.
That straight arm to the chin of Jack Tatum must have hurt a little bit too. Matthews, the lone setback. It's a fake to him. They're looking and throwing, and there's going to be a flag thrown. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Artie Owens trying to get into the end zone, could not. Bumped down by Monty Jackson, the All-Pro they picked up from the Rams, who played his ball here in San Diego State. Owens going for the football, and take a look here.
And this is a simple slant-in pass over the middle. It's one that's been very successful for a lot of ball players. And it looked like Owens had a step, had his body inside of Monty Jackson. He could have made the catch, but Jackson tried to go through him, and that's going to cost Oakland.
First down and goal to go. Matthews and Lawrence Barnes, another big heavyweight in there, two tight ends. Now, the last time they had two tight ends in there on short yardage, they threw for a touchdown. That is Bauer now in there with Matthews. Hank Bauer, not the baseball player, but Hank Bauer, the football player, who scored the touchdown. A free agent out of California Lutheran has put the Chargers out in front again.
Well, Hank Bauer, the baseball player with the Yankees, made a lot of big plays, but this Hank Bauer is capable of making big plays too. It is again Bauer taking the handoff, hurtling up and over and in.
The drive started back inside the 30, 76 yards they covered in 6 plays, and of course a big play was the pass interference against Monty Jackson. Vanerska with Fuller to hold, and the kick is no good. How often was it said last week, because there's so many missed extra points as there were today, that it's not automatic anymore. There's still a thrill in trying to hit the extra point. In this, they not only will have swept the Red Sox and climbed to a first-place tie with them, but it will be their 16th win in their last 18 ball games. Incredible. The Red Sox are hurting, and we'll have a game with these same two teams next Saturday here on NBC. Most of you will see that. Others will see Montreal at Pittsburgh. Vanerska, not having a good day, gets this ball fairly deep to Whittington at the 6. Young rookie brings it across the 20 and breaks it out near the 30-yard line. Well, the Raiders will take over first and 10 from there. Vanerska missed the 29-yard field goal attempt. And also an extra point, and we have an injured man down on the field at the 29-yard line. And we're trying to see whether that is Shaw who made the tackle or not. It looks like 44. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll check it out, and we'll come back in a moment and let you know who it is. 5:27 to go. It is 13-7. The Chargers lead first half. Sunny, excited San Diego. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Raiders had no problem moving last time. It was Shaw hurt. That's Van Egan with the football being strung out, and there's Glenn Edwards to upend him. Edwards just came in to replace Pete Shaw. And on the right cornerback spot, Jerome Dove has been playing the last couple of series, so we have 2 of the 4 secondary men, not the men who started the football game.
That's right. Glenn Edwards did a fine job with Pittsburgh over the years. He's going to bring some experience to the secondary and some real sound, heady play.
Oh, on your left corner is Mike Williams, your right corner Jerome Dove. Mike Fuller remains your strong safety, and Glenn Edwards, who made that hit, the free safety. Second down and 6 to go. And Stabler back. Stabler in the crowd throwing out here, and Upshaw could not come back for it. Jerome Dove was about 5 yards off of him, but that might have been Stabler just getting rid of the football, or it might have been lack of communication, and I'll ask my expert to my right which one it was.
Well, I think it was a case of Stabler trying to get rid of the football before being sacked. Bradshaw did not look like he was completely in his pattern. He wanted to do a turn-in or hooking pattern in the middle, but Stabler had released the ball early to the outside. He was just getting rid of it, keep from being sacked.
Third down and 6, and there are 3 wide receivers in there now for Oakland. Stabler That may be underthrown, and it's incomplete. It is underthrown across the way, intended for Cliff Rank. Mike Williams defending. Flag down back at the 26-yard line.
San Diego feels that the strength.
Holding charged against the Raiders.
Jim, I was going to say that San Diego feels that their strength defensively lies in their defensive line, that they can put the kind of pressure on Stabler to make him hurry his throws, and they've certainly done that here in the first half.
Well, rather than
holding 70, offense declined, 4th down.
That's Henry Lawrence trying to keep his man out, as Stabler already has been sacked twice. And rather than give the Raiders an extra 10 yards but another down, they'll say, no, sir, it's 4th down and 6 to go. Let Ray Guy kick it to us. We want the football. Stabler and the Raiders are so explosive they could make up that time. The Yankees have beat Boston 7-4. It is all tied. Each team has won the same amount and lost the same amount. And on July 19th, the Yankees were 14 games down. Can you believe that? Mike Fuller back to the 16-yard line. Pretty good punt return. Back to the 20 and picks up some extra yardage across the 25 to the 27-yard line, where the Chargers have the football again. San Diego came into the game a touchdown favorite. That was a 50-yard punt, and there's a surprising score, 13-7, the Chargers. Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. That's what we were telling you about as a result of the sweep in Boston, Fenway Park. Or the Red Sox and Yankees, 86 and 56, and you'll see Boston and New York, most of you, at 2 o'clock Eastern Time next Saturday here on NBC. First down, Woods and Matthews are set back. Chargers have the football. Don Woods has it now, and Woods gets away from one man and steps over a couple more and picks up about 4 yards total after it looked as though he'd be hit down. Lester Hayes and Monty Johnson made the tackle. Stabler is 7 of 11 for 139 yards and a touchdown. He's been intercepted once and sacked twice. Dan Fouts is 7 of 10 for 101 yards and a touchdown, and has not been sacked and has not been intercepted. Coming up at halftime, highlights of many of the games that took place some time ago, and there were some wild ball games, including an overtime game in Cleveland, plus all the scores of other games going on right now. In NFL 78, Bryant Gumbel, Mike Adamley from New York. 2nd down, 6 to go, and look out, Woods hardly gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's Phil Villapiano who made the tackle, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
That play didn't fool Phil Villapiano as he blitzed from his linebacker position and caught Lydell Mitchell in the backfield, and now that's put San Diego in a definite passing situation. I think we'll see the Oakland 5th defensive back come in.
Well, they're very excited about San Diego, meaning the team in the city. More tourists this year than any other year, and the manager of a radio's television station went on the air and said, let's enlarge the stadium city. Let us become big enough to get the Super Bowl. We have such an outstanding place down here. They are right. Don Woods is not going to get the first down. They're going to have to kick it away. He is stacked up and stacked up hard. Villapiano in there, as you can see. Monty Johnson getting up. And Otis Sistrunk. That's our score.
Fans don't particularly like that play or like that call by Dan Fouts, but it was a reasonable one. They're in their own territory and Oakland with 5 defensive backs. He didn't want to risk an interception on this part of the field.
Jeff West has had a good day today. Punts of 45 and 37 yards. Excellent hang time. And fair catch is called. And Neil Colsey is deep. High. Colsey's going to let it hit. That is taking a San Diego bounce down near the 15-yard line, and they'll down it at the 16. Bounced at about the 25 and went off skidding to the right to the 16-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Next week, NFL football, 12:30 Eastern Time on NFL 78. We'll have a special report on the San Diego Chargers. And then these games will follow, and Paul, your Cleveland Browns are undefeated.
They look pretty good. They started fast last year. I guess the fans in Cleveland are hoping that they can keep it going.
Oakland will be on out of Green Bay, and of course San Diego goes to Denver. There goes Mr. Van Egan. Great run by Van Egan. Got to the line of scrimmage, saw an open hole, and rambled about 34 yards. Mark Van Egan who last year averaged 91 yards.
This play worked because of good blocking and also some good running by Van Egan as he read his blocks perfectly. Only problem is he's not a great speedster out in a broken field.
Ball at midfield. 2 minutes to go first half. Who would have thought it? It's been an excellent, exciting game. NFL football every week right on through the Super Bowl here on NBC. Well, 2 minutes to go. Paul Warfield, this is one of those chances. I don't know if it'll work out or not, but when you see a man like Ken Stabler with receivers like he has at midfield and 2 minutes to go on the clock, there's something to watch.
Certainly is. He's a veteran quarterback, and like most veteran quarterbacks, he knows exactly how to use the clock in trying to get a touchdown in at this point of the game. I think that he'll pick his wide receivers going to the outside of the field and throw the ball towards the sidelines to make maximum use of the clock, but you know, you can't never rule out that he might send Casper down the middle for it all.
Dave Casper's already caught 4 passes, including 1 for a touchdown. Stabler going deep for Bradshaw down the sidelines, and he does not have the football. Right with him was Mike Williams.
Well, Bradshaw made an excellent move running this deep pattern. Seemed like he had a little bit of trouble locating the ball. Stabler's looking for him on the deep outside fly pattern. Just as he breaks outside, sort of hard to tell right there, but it looked like the ball was right in his hands. Perhaps the San Diego defender got his hand on it.
It looked to me like he dropped the ball as they did 6 times on Stabler last week. That ball was right on the money. Here comes Biletnikoff and Branch both to the left on second down. That play only took 6 seconds. Stabler going back again, and he's going to try it again. Casper's out there, and he overthrows him. Casper had outrun the secondary. He had 2 men on him, and the tight end outran the secondary.
Well, we said that he might go for it all for Casper going down the middle, and that's exactly what Stabler did. He was under a little bit of duress on this particular play as number 68, Leroy Jones, put the pressure on him, threw the ball to over the right shoulder of Casper, who was breaking, looking over his left shoulder. He just wasn't able to come up with the catch.
Watching Stabler go down like that, I realized that in the first quarter here last year, he went down with a twisted knee under that kind of rush and could not finish. 3rd down and 10. Stabler's been going for it all every time. Under a rush, throws it out here, and Branch had not made his turn. And Stabler, I believe that time, Paul, had to throw because he's under tremendous pressure.
Well, the San Diego game plan is working to perfection. They felt coming into this ball game that they would have to put a maximum rush on Stabler. They couldn't give him an opportunity to go back there, sit back there, and take a lot of time throwing to his pass receivers. And so far, they've harassed him, and he hasn't been throwing effectively.
Ray Guy's been averaging 41.6 yards on 4 kicks. Last year, averaged 43.3. A reminder that Stabler had something going, but the ball was dropped, and the Raiders are still down by 6, and the Charger fans are thrilled with it. Fuller's going to take this at the 10-yard line, and deep trouble right there. Maintains his balance and gets across the 20. He was hit by Joe Stewart, the rookie out of Missouri, who has a lot of speed, and Stewart was down under the play, hit Fuller about the knees. He spun away and got out to the 21-yard line. A 40-yard kick.
Catching a punt inside the 10-yard line is something that will make a coach like Tommy Prothero get even more gray hairs on his head.
On the sides of his head. With apologies to you, Tom. 1st down and 10. 13-7 San Diego over Oakland. 1:35 to go first half. Fouts probably will play conservatively here. Hands to his fullback Matthews, and Matthews picks up 6 or 7 yards. But the Chargers cannot be convicted or criticized for playing conservatively well within their own 30-yard line with a lead and only 1:20 to go.
That's right. I wouldn't want the Oakland Raiders to have the football. The Chargers, we were talking a moment ago about the Chargers' defensive game plan. Their offensive game plan has worked to perfection as they have gotten at least 4 to 5 yards on first down. They've stayed out of that must-run or must-pass situation pretty much throughout the first half.
2nd down, 7 to go. Matthews again, and Matthews has the first down. 54 seconds to go. Bo Matthews, John Jefferson, of whom we spoke in the NFL 78 portion of our show, caught 1 pass, has gone out with a neck injury and hasn't been back, and Johnny Rodgers has been getting his shot. But these are the closing moments of the first half, and Fouts is not about to put it up for grabs. Matthews has now carried the ball 8 times for 34 yards. Matthews a fine blocking back. Fouts 7 for 10. Jim Garner, and no, he is not a San Diego fan. You will find him wherever the Oakland Raiders are playing. Maybe I should call him Jim Rockford.
He's been a big fan of the Raiders for years. I saw him on the sidelines when Oakland knocked out Miami in the playoffs in 1974.
And then the Raiders came right back, marching 77 yards. Casper catching the touchdown pass to make it 7-7. And then Hank Bauer scored from 7 yards out. A little delay by Matthews. Every little second counts. 46 seconds to go. Clock is continuing to run. There is no timeout here. And they can get one more play off, and Artie Owens comes in with that play, and it might be number 41 again, Bo Matthews, or else just Fouts falling down. Nearing the end of the half, the Chargers, who are a touchdown underdog, find themselves up by 6 points. The extra point missed after the second score. Second man is Lionel Mitchell, and Mitchell gets across the 35 to the 37. The fans here find themselves out in front by the score of 13-7, but they want Fouts to put the ball up in the air in the last 5 seconds. And they're going to walk off saying, we're happy with the lead, and the Raiders are going to walk off saying, we're going to come back and make things different in the second half. First half is all over. Here in San Diego, sellout crowd, 13-7, the Chargers over the Raiders. There is the sold-out San Diego Stadium. More than 54,000 people are here. The Chargers on the near sideline, leading 13-7. Their touchdowns, a 19.5-yard deflected pass caught by Pat Curran, and Hank Bauer, the only time he carried the ball for Tommy Prothro, scored from a yard out. And that's the 13 points. Whereas for the loss of the Oakland Raiders, I got a team here in California somewhere, and John Madden, Casper just had an outstanding first half, and his catch to set up the touchdown, which he caught from 7 yards in, as he extended his way and put his hands out on the dead run and beat 2 defenders, was a thing of beauty. Casper was just absolutely perfection in the first half. Kenny Stabler deserved better. He had dropped passes again. The score's 13-7. The statistics, we'll let Paul Warfield handle that.
Well, there's a little edge for the Chargers here in first downs and yards rushing. Total yards is 208 for San Diego, 170 for Oakland. Of course, Oakland's yardage could be a little bit better, as Jim mentioned, if some of the pass receivers would have made some catches from time to time.
Look at that time of possession there, Paul.
Well, that's a big difference. San Diego has done the thing that they wanted to do offensively, and that's control the football. Their game plan has been one in which they want to at least gain 3, 4, 5 yards on first down and not necessarily come up in the passing situations, and they've done exactly that.
Artie Owens and Mike Fuller going back as Ray Guy will kick off. Owens is 85, Fuller 42, and there's Ray Guy, who will kick off. Ralph Garnerski missed a 29-yard field goal and missed an extra point. And those 2 misses could be costly for the Chargers before the day is over. But the Raiders are going to have to turn some things around here, because the Chargers have been more than holding their own. They have dominated the play. Artie Owens at the 6-yard line goes back to the 5, out to the 20, and is tripped up, runs into his own man, and goes down at the 25-yard line. And Dan Fouts and company come out, and again John Jefferson, about whom we spoke, out with a neck injury, had that outstanding debut against Seattle a week ago with 2 touchdown passes of 29 and 7 yards, is not coming out. Johnny Rogers, the Heisman Trophy winner, the #1 pick years ago, who opted for Canada but came back last year, is in there, number 20. Woods 33, Matthews 41. Your running backs, Rogers 20 to the right, Joyner 18 to the left. Fine, the tight end is on the right side. Bo Matthews gets 5 yards out to the 30-yard line. It'll be second down and a long 5 to go. Artie Owens comes in as they're shuttling the wide receivers with plays. Billy Shields and Russ Washington the tackles, Doug Wilkerson and Ed White the guards, and Ralph Paredes at center. Defensively, Matuzak, McCoy, Sistrunk, Hendricks, Johnson, Hall, Villapiano, Hayes, Phillips, Tatum, and Brown. And now we see Monty Jackson is over on the right corner. Fouts to Matthews coming out of the backfield. Bo Matthews has the first down across the 35-yard line. Monty Jackson picked up from the Rams, has taken over right cornerback.
Well, Dan Fouts made an excellent decision here. He wanted to go downfield to the wide receiver, but things were jammed up down there, so he threw the ball right there to number 41, Bo Matthews. He made a nice gain out of it. Chargers have a first down.
All at the 38-yard line. Rogers to the right, Joyner left. Chargers have been able to move the football today. Make no mistake about that. Here's Matthews again out of the backfield, and he gets from a 38 to the 41. A gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7 to go from there. Charles Phillips, a strong side safety, along with the Stork. Ed Hendricks made the stop.
A 3-yard gain.
Matthews has carried 15 times for 54 yards. And there is Dan Fouts. His dad used to do the San Francisco 49er games up in the Bay Area. I think you've heard that little bit of trivia before, but sports announcers are just as proud as any other father of what their son or daughter can do. Woods, who had an outstanding first half, gets a good block, cuts back inside. Flag goes down, and the direction of Bo Matthews, who was working over there on Ted Hendrick.
A 4-yard gain. Penalty flag.
And Bo Matthews, number 41, may be called for holding. I think you know that all penalties this year are 5 or 10 yards, with the exception of unsportsmanlike conduct or unnecessary roughness or personal foul. They go to the 15. Everything else is 5 and 10 yards. Jerry Markbright, our referee. Umpire Gordon Wells. Ray Daudet, our head linesman. Line judge Bill Reynolds. Back judge Tom Kelleher. Willie Spencer, the side judge. Ed Merrifield, the field judge. Here's Markbright.
Holding 41.
It
offense,
was Matthews.
Second down.
Second down and about 17 to go. Chargers have reeled off 14 first downs. Joyner left. Rogers right. Lydell Mitchell is in there along with Don Woods. Woods can play the fullback spot. Fouts has been getting excellent protection. Now he's going to run. And look out, because he's going to have that linebacker, Willie Hall, knock him down after he crossed the 35-yard line to the 37. Picked up about 5. It'll be third down and 10.
The Raiders had good coverage in the secondary. Fouts looked completely around the field. He just couldn't find a receiver open. Here's Villapiano coming in on the blitz. He's the guy who sort of unsettles Fouts there and moves him out of the pocket. And he starts to scramble on the run. Not the greatest scrambler in the world, but he certainly knows when to go down.
Especially when you're looking at Willie Hall taking dead aim on you. Third down and 10 to go. Fouts has the time and has the man Bob Klein, but I don't think he's going to get the first down. He is dragged down at the 46-yard line, just shy. Neil Colsey and Monty Jackson dragged him down, and it'll be fourth down and short, and Jeff West is coming on.
Well, I've got to be critical of Bob Klein in that situation. A veteran pass receiver, he should have known what yardage he needed for the first down. It is imperative in a situation like that not to be a yard or 2 short, but to get the first down.
Line did not go down the full 10 yards, but turned in at the 46-yard line. Jeff West has had a fine day punting the ball, averaging 44.4. That is Colsey you saw deep. Look out. He got it away from Colsey, and this will bound around inside the 20 and again get a nice Charger roll down to the 15-yard line. Again, the Raiders are going to be starting from in a hole. They're down by 6, but a lot of time to go. 11 minutes to go, third quarter. The team of pride and poise, the Raiders of Oakland, will try to get back in the ball game. Not that they are out of the ball game, but they're trailing by 6 points, and they're 85 yards away from a score. And Egan, who had a good first half, picks up about 5 yards out near the 20-yard line, where Bob Horn and Gary Big Hands Johnson and Louis Kelcher all combined on the stop. Stabler 7 of 14 for 139 yards. Been intercepted once, thrown a touchdown pass, has been sacked twice. Outstanding leader who has seen his share of great days in the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and of course the Super Bowl.
No reason for the Raiders to push the panic button. They've got a lot of time left, and they're only 6 points down.
Second down along 5. Stabler back, throws, has his man. Guess who? Dave Casper. Casper fights for the first down across the 25-yard line. 4 charges around him, and Casper just fought for the first down. Mike Fuller the first to hit him, and Hal Stringer came over to help out. And a flag is down, and it's going to be if it is a personal foul, this will be one of your 15-yard penalties that we were talking about. Not too many of them left in the National Football League. They're marching off the 15, and now all of a sudden the Raiders have excellent field position.
Personal foul, number 45.
That's Hal Stringer.
Unnecessary roughness. First down.
There's Stringer.
Well, they've got Hal Stringer here, and he's accused of a little extracurricular activities, and he was caught there, and it's going to cost them 15 yards. That hurts.
Spearing with the helmet, which is something they try to ask the players not to do. They can be very dangerous. Van Egan again bursts into the secondary. First down. Across the 45 down to the 44-yard line. That's the second time that Mark Van Egan has had a big burst today. Glenn Edwards made the stop. Edwards came in when Pete Shaw, who had had an ankle problem to begin with, went out. Van Egan has been piling up the yardage today. 44 yards on 8 carries. That's better than 5 yards per. Bradshaw right, Branch left, and here come the Raiders. Again, Van Egan, this time for a yard or 2, and that's about all. Gary Big Hands Johnson. Gary Johnson came to the Chargers out of Grambling as a #1 draft choice. And the funny thing is, Louis Kelcher, who plays alongside of him, has bigger hands than Big Hands. In the 1975 draft, Gary Johnson and Mike Williams are drafted on the first round. Louis Kelcher and Fred Dean on the second round. There's your front 3 plus a cornerback. And Mike Fuller on the third round. There's your strong side safety. So they got 5 men in the first 3 rounds of the 75 draft who are playing on defense today as starters. Second down, 9 to go. Look out, Stabler. Flag goes down. Stabler puts the ball up. It is intercepted by Glenn Edwards. Edwards across the 40, the 45, and run out of bounds at the 48. Remember, a flag was down. Could be holding in the backfield. We'll wait and see. But the teams are breaking on the field. Glenn Edwards, over from the Steelers, makes the interception, the second interception of the day, and it is going to be holding.
Number 50, offense, decline, first down.
Dave Dalby called for holding, but Stabler's intercepted, and that is the 3rd turnover. Remember, there's a fumble by Van Egan back in the first quarter. That is the 3rd turnover, not the second.
Here's Kenny throwing sort of off balance and side-arming it. And that's one I'm sure that he wished that he could have back, because Glenn Edwards was sitting right back there in the middle, read the play perfectly, stepped in front of the receiver, intercepted it.
47-yard line. Chargers have the football and the lead with 8:55 to go, 3rd quarter. Fouts still with the football, being harassed, and down he goes. Oh, fine individual play by Willie Hall, the linebacker. That's the first time that Fouts has been sacked today. Stabler's been sacked twice, but this time they sent Willie Hall. And many times this year, Paul Warfield, they're really playing a 4-3 as they will set a linebacker in as a down lineman.
Second down.
Well, that's the beauty of the 3-4 defense. You can send one of the extra linebackers, and that time Willie Hall was coming, and he simply was not fooled by that play-action fake. It was a big play, and it's going to make the Chargers operate at least 2nd down and 15.
Rydell Mitchell comes in. Don Woods is out. And Fouts is back to throw. Gets it out for Klein. Almost picked off. Oh, Lester Hayes read it perfectly. Stepped in front. Couldn't hang on to the football. Well, there's been a drop by Morris Bradshaw on offensive a long pass. And there was a ball batted high in the air by Mike Davis and went for a touchdown. The Raiders today have had trouble with their hands.
Certainly have. Dan Fouts has only made 2 poor decisions throwing the football today. That was one of them right there, and he got away with it. Lester Hayes could have made that reception for the Raiders. No one was in front of him.
3rd and long, and Joyner and Rogers both go left. Fouts 7 of 11. Fouts has time, delivers it, and overthrows everybody, and it's a good thing he did, because Charlie Joyner was surrounded by the black and silver.
Raider defense seems like it's picked up the pace now. They're putting a little more pressure on Fouts, and they're doing a good job in the secondary of covering.
Oh, Jeff West will come in to kick it away to Neil Colsey again. The last 2 times that West has kicked the ball away, and he's been averaging 44.5 yards. He has kicked the ball that has hit about the 25 or 20 and then rolled inside the 20. He had a good day that way. Colsey plays one side or the other. And West has been kicking away from Colsey. This time he's kicking toward Colsey. But Neil, who dropped the ball in Denver, is not going to field this one, and this one gets a Raider bounce out to the 26-yard line. Oakland has the football. We've got 8:05 to go, third quarter. It's 13-7. The Chargers lead the Raiders. Baseball today. The Cardinals knocked off Philadelphia, but at the same time, Pittsburgh was being beaten for the 4th time in a row. The Mets took them 11-9, so there's no difference there in the National League East. But in the American League East, the Yankees sweep the Red Sox 7-4. That's a 4-game sweep, and that's exactly how you'll see it in tomorrow morning's papers. Boston's 186 and lost 56, and so has New York, whereas Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, as we said, remains the same. Our score is 13-7. Next week, our games of the week, Boston to New York. Red Sox hope to rally, and Montreal will be at Pittsburgh. Most of you will see Boston at New York. Stabler trying to get back. He's been throwing a lot and throwing deep this time for Branch. It's a foot race, and the ball is taken out of the air. Glenn Edwards has his second interception. Picked it right out of the hands of Branch and steps out of bounds at the 49. Stabler intercepted for the 3rd time. That time the ball hit the hands of Branch, and Edwards just picked it right out.
Well, a tough luck for Clifford Branch, who seemed like he was on his way to making a great catch, only had the ball bounce out of his hands and into the hands of a waiting and happy Glenn Edwards. Stabler here is going for it all up on top. Nice long throw. Branch goes over the defender. Ball bounces out of his hands and into the hands of Glenn Edwards.
That is the 4th turnover, the 3rd interception. The ball is at the 49 of the Raiders. Chargers have had their opportunities today. Here's Don Woods trying to take advantage, and Woods does as he rolls inside the 45 down to the 42-yard line before Monty Johnson made the tackle. 2nd down on short yardage to go, midway in the 3rd quarter.
The Chargers have been able to run very well to the left side today. On that side, Doug Wilkerson and Billy Shields have been doing a very good job controlling the line of scrimmage.
I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. 7:22 to go, 3rd quarter. Chargers, who have the football on your left. 2nd down and 3 to go, and they lead 13-7. Don Woods trying to pick up the 1st down, and he is dragged down shy of the 1st down. Looked like the stork. There he is. Ted Hendricks reached in and just yanked him back. Hendricks is one of the men in the National Football League that always seems to be around the ball, especially in kicking situations.
Well, Ted Hendricks is a great player. He's 6'7", and he's got long arms, and he won't be denied. He played that run to perfection, just like a linebacker should play it.
3rd down and 2 to go in a ball game that has been seesaw. 7-0, Chargers 7-7, then 13-7, and on 3rd and short to go, the Chargers had the football. Raiders trying to avoid a 2nd straight loss. Don Woods trying to get the 1st down and done. Inside the 40-yard line down to the 37 goes Don Woods. And that is 1st down number 15 for the Chargers as compared to 9 for the Oakland Raiders. Don Madden upset. Don Woods happy.
Well, funny thing, I thought the Oakland Raiders were the football team that ran so well to their left. San Diego Chargers taking a page out of Oakland's book and running to the Oakland Raiders' left side very well.
Woods gets a breather, and Lydell Mitchell comes in to join Bo Matthews in the backfield. On 1st down, Bo Matthews carries the football, slides, and a flag goes down as he slides down to the 34-yard line. And it's going to be holding charged against the Chargers. How do they take the down of the distance? Mark Wright will give us a preliminary indication that the Chargers were called for holding. And that flag was thrown far downfield. Now John Jefferson, whom we understood may not come back today, is trotting back in now, and Johnny Rogers is coming out. Jefferson has a neck injury. They'll take the 10 yards, and we'll see who the guilty party is.
Hold. 84. Offense. First down.
Bob Klein, the tight end. First down and 20 to go. But now the ball is back on the 46-yard line. And Jefferson has had one catch before getting hurt. Is wide right, bottom of your screen. Lydell Mitchell inside the 40-yard line. Picks up 9 yards perhaps, close to 10 before Monty Johnson ran him out of bounds. Now it'll be second down. And about 10.5 to go. Mitchell has looked very good today. We made a point in coming on the air that everybody knows that Mitchell is getting perhaps $300,000 a year, but never carried the ball. That's changed today.
Well, he's carried the ball a lot today, and he's looked awfully good. Same Lydell Mitchell that we all saw in Baltimore, finding the open spot and picking up the necessary yardage.
Rodgers and Joyner go wide to the left as Jefferson has come out. Woods is in for Matthews. Ball is drilled and almost intercepted by Monty Johnson. Intercepted for Johnny Rodgers, diving at the 21-yard line. And that's been a big difference today. The Raiders have almost manufactured a lot of turnovers against the Charger offense, whereas the Charger offense has come up with 4 turnovers against the Raiders. I should say the Charger defense against the Raider offense.
Well, it's been almost, but not quite enough. Diane Fouts is starting to predetermine where he's throwing the football. Looking downfield all the way, Monty Johnson just read his eyes closed on the ball and nearly came up with the interception.
Jefferson back into the right, Joyner to the left, third down, 10.5 to go. Fouts has time, delivers it to no one. No one.
Jim, to show you how soon the complexion can change during the course of a ball game or during the course of a series, San Diego was moving the ball real well. They had a holding penalty. It threw it back to 1st and 20. That put them in the must-passing situation. Oakland's defensive lineman could tee off. Their secondary members started to play pass all the way, and now we see that San Diego has bogged down.
And Jeff West will kick the ball away with 5.5 minutes to go, third quarter. West angling obviously toward the far sideline, and what kind of kick is he going to get? It is going to be a good kick down at the 7-yard line, and the Raiders again will start way back there. 5:24 to go in a ball game that has a sellout crowd very excited. Chargers 13, Raiders 7. I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield, and we don't want to be guilty of looking ahead, but we can look ahead to next week when we have all of our football games again in NFL 78. In fact, Paul and I will be down in Atlanta for your team, the Cleveland Browns, which today won its 2nd game in a row. They'll be going against Atlanta. Oakland carrying the football. Davis gets out across the 10-yard line to about the 14. Nice pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 4 to go. Woodrow Lowe made the stop. Clarence Davis, we were told, had a bruised chest, and they were not sure whether or not he would be able to come back in. Well, he came back in and carried the ball for 6 yards.
He's come back in, and so has John Jefferson for the Chargers. So that goes to show you how much this ball game means to both teams.
Bradshaw right, Branch to the left, and straight ahead, Van Egan. Oh, my, what a tackle by Louis Kelcher. And you'll hear that Lou. It's not boo.
Boy, that's Louis Kelcher, number 74. He just played off his blocker and just obliterated Mark Van Egan.
Move Mickey Marvin right out of the way. And Louis Kelcher with a hip pointer. It'll be 3rd down and short. 3rd and short, and Stabler's back to throw. Look out, he dropped the football. And I believe it's recovered. Hold it, and it's still bouncing around. We'll wait and let the officials. Either way, Oakland will have to kick the ball away, or the ball belongs to the Chargers inside the 10. Those of you who have been watching Miami and Baltimore, be assured that the Miami Dolphin fans are still watching that game, but you are joining us, and we are in sunny San Diego. And I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. It is 13-7. The Chargers beating the Raiders, and Stabler on 3rd down and 2 went back on this play. Lost the football as he was pressured for the umpty-ump time. It looked as though San Diego would get the football, Kelcher, but it popped loose. The Chargers have it. in control as Ray Guy will have to kick the ball to him. He can boom it out of that end zone. 3:43 to go, third quarter. It's quite a football game, lots of time to go, and Guy booms it past the 30. Fuller picks it up all the way back at the 23-yard line, and our statistician goes to work to tell us how long that kick is. 64 yards from the line of scrimmage. 64 yards. Guy gets him out of trouble. 3:28 to go, third quarter. 13-7, San Diego over Oakland. I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield. Let me change one thing. That wasn't a 64-yard punt. That was a 69-yard punt by Ray Guy. How about that? What a ball game we have had. 13-7. I'll recap the scoring for those of you who just joined us in a moment. First down from the 35-yard line for the Chargers. Lydell Mitchell is in the backfield and does have the football. And blockers in front of him, but an outstanding play made on Mitchell by Ted Hendricks. In this ball game, a fumble by the Oakland Raiders at the 11 of San Diego nullified their first touchdown attempt. San Diego roared the length of the field. Bogged down. Bernarski tried a 29-yard field goal. That was no good. Then San Diego did come back. A 20-yard pass to Pat Kern went off the hands of an Oakland defender to make it 7-0. Oakland marched back 77 yards. Casper, very instrumental, took a 7-yard pass to make it 7-all. And later Hank Bauer scored after a 76-yard drive from 1 yard out. And that's where we are. Fouts throwing it out here to Mitchell. Look out. Boy, Lester Hayes is playing that well, and the Oakland Raiders are beginning to toughen up on defense. Their offense, Paul, is having a little problem, but their defense is toughened up.
Well, Oakland is playing better ball defensively than they played in the first half, although they didn't play that badly. They're forcing Fouts to throw his ball to his backs now, and Lester Hayes comes up and really makes a play on Lydell Mitchell. Boy, glad I'm sitting up here now.
From the 31-yard line, third down and long yardage. They've got 15 to go. And Fouts back with time. Flags go down downfield. The pass is caught shy of the first down, but a flag is down downfield. Now it could be an illegal chuck. It could be pass interference. It could be holding. An illegal chuck apparently charged against Oakland.
You know, Jim, in some instances when I see a hit like the one that Lester Hayes made on Lydell Mitchell, I wish that I was up here. But then with the new rule changes regarding pass receivers this year, sometimes I wish I was back down there. Ambivalent feelings.
An illegal chuck, which means that once you pass that 5-yard.
Illegal chuck, 37, defense, automatic first down.
Automatic first down. Lester Hayes did it. Once you pass the 5-yard line area, past the line of scrimmage, you can no longer hit a receiver. Well, we talked about the 69-yard pass play, or rather punt, of Ray Guy. In the AFC, the longest ever, 75 yards by Marv Bateman of Buffalo. In the NFC, the longest ever, 70 yards by Dave Green. So 69 is right up there among the leaders. Fouts dumps it out. That's Bo Matthews. Matthews puts his head down, first down, up near midfield. Chargers continue the impetus. 1:45 to go, third quarter. And Matthews ran hard.
Well, here's an end zone shot of this play. They sent Lydell Mitchell motion left and then hit Bo Matthews coming up right through the center. That play had a lot of action. I'm sure that it caused some problems to the Oakland Raider defensive team. Here's another look at it. There's Matthews going out of your screen, now coming back. And this is a very determined run on the part of young Mr. Matthews.
Let's pause briefly for station identification. They blew the whistle for a moment.
This is KMTV in Omaha.
Now all of the officials are down there, Paul. And the Chargers are being waved back. They have not called time. And this is an official's time. They indicate that to us. And I'm looking at the sidelines. It might be something as the time. I'm not sure. First down. 13-7 Chargers. Matthews and Mitchell in the backfield. Matthews in motion. Fouts delivers it out to Matthews, and that's Lester Hayes making another big hit. A gain of a yard only to midfield. It's second down. Lester Hayes was playing Bo Matthews all the way, just waiting for the ball to arrive. In Baltimore, third quarter. Miami, 3 touchdown passes by Don Strock. Some of you saw a lot of that game. leading Baltimore 28-0. And Baltimore has not scored yet in the regular season. Second down. Jefferson to the right and Joyner to the left. Each has caught one pass. Straight ahead Matthews. Not much room to go there, is there? Hanging on is Phil Villapiano down at the bottom. Monty Johnson got him up top. So it's another must-pass situation, Paul. Third down.
And the Raiders counter by sending in Neil Colsey as their 5th defensive back. And Pat Toomey, I believe, is in the defensive lineman.
What do you call him?
Fourth down lineman.
Call him a designated what? What did you call him?
Designated pass rusher.
On 3rd and long, and time not running out by any stretch of the imagination because we're still in the 3rd quarter, although just 22 seconds left. Buffalo's at Miami, and Miami is winning its first game. All right, consultation over. 3rd down 7 from the 49. Mitchell and Woods the setbacks, and Fouts back to throw. Delivers the ball, has his man right on Mitchell. The flag is down. Flag is down in the offensive backfield. And it's going to be holding against the Chargers. So take away the first down and march them back 10 yards and call it 3rd down and 17.
Well, it's unfortunate, but it's good to have a back like Lydell Mitchell in your backfield because the Raiders have gone to their 5-back defense in must-passing situations. And when you have a guy like Lydell Mitchell coming out of the backfield, he's going to put a lot of pressure on the linebackers who are covering him man for man.
Well, let's see who was holding in the backfield.
Holding, 66, offense,
That's
3rd down.
Billy Shields, who bows his head as he hears his number called. Well, in the first half of this ball game, the teams were up and down the field with many scoring opportunities. In the second half, they've been playing virtually between the 25-yard lines and tougher defense.
Much tougher defense on both ends from Oakland and also from San Diego.
3rd down, remember, 17 to go. The ball just over the 41 of San Diego. Jefferson to the right and Joyner to the left. And a long way to go. And Fouts has time to unload to Jefferson. He makes the catch. And it'll be very close to the first down. It depends on where they mark it.
That was just a super catch, Jim. Jefferson knew exactly where he had to go to get the first down, and yet the young man had enough poise to keep his feet in bounds.
It is a first down as we take a look at a double replay of John Jefferson.
Here's John Jefferson working on Lester Hayes there. He straightens him up and then breaks back to the outside. Now watch him go up in the air and yet get his feet back down inside to make the catch.
All on the 41-yard line.
Here's another shot. Fouts looking. He's going to throw the corner pattern to Jefferson coming into your pitcher. And again, let me emphasize that he kept both feet inside of bounds, and so it counted as a reception. A big play.
Well, what do you think now? They were talking about Jefferson looking like Lance Allworth, and you know a lot of good young receivers around the league. What do you think, Paul Warfield?
Well, I've been impressed with Jefferson. He's proven that he can come back after taking a pretty good lick and still play good hard football. And I'm impressed with his overall poise and his ability to make the catch, the big catch, especially when the San Diego Chargers need it.
18th first down. Well, Baltimore almost had its first score of the year today, moments ago, but Kim Bocamper, the good outside linebacker on the strong side, intercepted the pass at the goal line to end that threat by the Colts. Well, still 28-0 Miami as the ball is handed off. That's Don Woods, and Woods picks up yardage. Well, I don't know who's going to win this ball game. We've got one more quarter to go. That means 15 minutes of playing time to find out. But at the end of 3 quarters, it's virtually a standoff. But in the scoring column, it is the Chargers who are up. They lead 13-7 at the end of 3.
Jack Tatum can't quite get him, but Charlie Joyner, if he could have made that final block on the cornerback right there, that play would have scored. The cornerback Lester Hayes. Here's another look at it. Here's Matthews. He's into the secondary real quick, and you don't like to see a back his size running into your secondary with a lot of little guys back there.
First down and goal to go. We're in the 4th quarter, and the Chargers are moving. Fouts hands off. Down inside the 5-yard line. That is Hank Bauer, who scored a touchdown on his only other carry. Out of of California Lutheran. Those of you on the East Coast, we understand we're having some audio problems. We apologize, and I'm sure you know that we're trying to clear them up. It is second down and goal to go.
Hank Bauer appears to be the kind of player that you want when you start getting in towards the goal line, because he has a knack for getting in the end zone.
Oh, if the Chargers get in here, it's early in the fourth quarter, the Raiders would have their job cut out for them. They were favored by nearly a touchdown. They lost last week. They're trying not to lose this week. Straight ahead, Matthews, and he really meets head on. Fine hit by Monty Johnson. Well, let's slow down for a moment, give you that address again about the U.S. Olympic Committee, because that is important. Send your tax-deductible contribution to help our American athletes. U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980, T is in Tom, Cathedral Station, Boston, Massachusetts, 02118. Third down and a couple of yards to go. Look at that Oakland defense. Bauer, touchdown, his second of the day. He was a school teacher, and he got a chance to come back to the National Football League.
You know, he certainly does know how to get 6 points. The crowd certainly loves it. Bauer loves it. And this has been a very surprising ball game here this afternoon.
Lenerski missed his last point after attempt, but this one is perfect. 12:42 to go. Oh, they love it in Southern California. I'm not so sure what they're thinking in Northern California. Jim Simpson, Paul Warfield, a drive of 65 yards, and hold at the ball is blown off the tee yet again. Miami continues to lead Baltimore 28-0. They are in the fourth quarter of that one. We're in the fourth quarter of this one, and it's 20-7, the Chargers over the Raiders. Lenerski to kick off. Graduate in zoology, very much into dolphins and bird watching, and in kicking in the National Football League. And this is Robisky fumbling the football inside the 5-yard line, back to the 10, and down he goes on a hit by Keith King out of Colorado State. Miami has scored yet again, and it is 35-0. Miami over Baltimore. So quickly, that is what, 73 points in less than 2 ball games scored against the Colts, and they've scored none. They're calling for defense here is what the call is, and Stabler has to go to work in a hurry, dumps it out and off the fingers of Mark Van Egan. While Robisky fumbled the kickoff, and Egan fumbles the ball thrown to him.
Looks like the Raiders are a little bit rattled, and rightly so. They find themselves at least a touchdown and 3 points behind, and also they've got a long way to go down the field.
They're down by 13 points. 2 touchdowns and extra points would put them ahead. A touchdown and a couple of field goals would tie them, but they've got 12:29 to go, and it is second down. Stabler back, delivers a ball, and it was almost intercepted again. Intended for Davis coming out of the backfield. And Don Good did an outstanding job with Bob Horn. The linebackers covering the back, coming out of the backfield. Stabler's now 8 for 18.
Again, the Charger defensive line is just simply putting a tremendous amount of pressure on Ken Stabler. They are not allowing him to really set up and throw that ball. He's having to throw the ball under very harassed conditions, and the result is Oakland is not completing a high percentage of its passes.
Third down and 10 to go. Second game of a 16-game regular season. Normally would be starting next week, wouldn't we? Stabler back, has the time, delivers for Bradshaw, who steps around his man. Bradshaw with great speed. Glenn Edwards is there to knock him down inside the 45-yard line. Edwards makes the saving tackle.
It was a saving tackle. Morris Bradshaw, hailing from Ohio State University, where they don't pass, made this catch, and he's got great speed. He was simply all alone over there. Stabler found him. This is a nice movement that Bradshaw makes. Here's Glenn Edwards. Johnny on the spot to stop him from going all the way.
Did you notice that Paul Warfield said that he played at Ohio State where they don't pass much? John Madden he was really rooting. That was his action on the last play before Bradshaw was stopped. But it's first down, and the Chargers are coming back. Pumped once, he's got all the time in the world. Throws the ball for Biletnikoff, who's there, and a fine play by Glenn Edwards again. Edwards has intercepted 2 passes, made a saving tackle, and bats that ball down. The former Steeler safety.
Well, Glenn Edwards certainly is coming in to show his worth for the San Diego Charger defensive unit. He's simply been all over the field roaming. Gets in front of Biletnikoff at the last second, bats the ball away. He's been from sideline to sideline making plays and interceptions. He's done a fine job this afternoon.
Second down and 10, and the Raiders are very much in business. Stabler has moved them from the 19-yard line down to the 41-yard line. Branch out to the left, Biletnikoff to the right. Robisky the setback with Van Egan, but Stabler's taking touchdown and throwing, and it is thrown out of bounds toward Biletnikoff. The linebacker Lowe was dropping off, and Mike Williams was in the same territory, the left cornerback. And now for the first time, Wilbur Young is coming in, and coming out is Leroy Jones. Big Wilbur Young. How big is Wilbur Young? 6'7", 275.
That's pretty big.
But Leroy Jones coming out is 6'8", 265. Third down and 10. 3 wide receivers. Biletnikoff and Bradshaw to the right and Branch to the left. And Stabler back to throw, flag down. He delivers the football intended for Casper, no good. Bob Good was on him. Don Good rather, and it was Young who was pressuring. And let's see what the officials tell us. Offside, San Diego. That'll be third down and 5. We'll check the clock. 11:26 to go in this 20-7 ball game, which San Diego leads.
Offside, 79, defense, third down.
Gary Johnson offside. Wilbur Young has gone out, and Leroy Jones has checked back in. For those of you, and many of you were, watching Miami-Baltimore, we'll keep you up to date on that. But you know what's going on down there. 35-0 in Baltimore. And the Colts home opener. Branch left. Biletnikoff to the right. Bradshaw remains in as the third wide receiver on third down. And Stabler throwing on every down. Look out. He gets the ball away, and it's coughed up. Incomplete, intended for Casper. Thought it might have been a fumble. Big hit by Horn, and Stabler is slowly getting up. It's fourth down.
Well, Ken Stabler simply is not getting the kind of time that he's accustomed to getting. San Diego is putting great pressure on him, causing him to hurry his throws. Although that ball was thrown very well, the Charger defenders were right there to make the stop, though.
Stabler is 9 for 22. 9 for 22. Fourth down. Guy is in. He's been intercepted 3 times and sacked a couple of times. Fuller is not going too deep on Guy, knowing that Ray Guy will angle toward the sidelines. On fourth down 5. He's angling toward the sidelines, and I think it gets out of bounds a little bit before he wanted it to. Official coming back inside the 10, inside the 15, all the way out to the 19-yard line. Not much gain for them. Chargers have the ball and the lead. Baseball this afternoon, the Phillies lost, but so did their closest pursuers, the Pirates. They lost their 4th in a row, so there's no difference there in the National League East. But in the American League East, you probably heard New York beat Boston 7-4. It's all tied there in the American League East. They're both 86 and 56, the Red Sox and the Yankees. National League East, as we said, stays just as it was at the beginning of the day. 4 games difference. Next Saturday, Boston at New York. Most of you will see. Some will see Montreal at Pittsburgh. That was a 16-yard punt by Ray Guy. 16 yards only. Bo Matthews carrying the ball, and you can see Billy Shields was leading the interference, and a gain of 3 yards. John Matuzak stacked that up, and Matthews is waving like he might want to come out. Bauer is going to come in for him. Hank Bauer, no relation at all to the former Kansas City Baltimore manager and New York Yankees star, carried the ball a couple of times, and 2 of the times he has carried, he scored. Second down 7. Bauer this time slips on a 1 tackle and makes a pretty good run. Picks up a couple of yards after Wk2 is going to be hit in the backfield by Bill Calabiano. He gets out to the 25, and it'll be 3rd down and 4. To go back to the Hank Bauer story, he was a school teacher in Oxnard, California in 1976 when he couldn't make a ball club. He's out of California Lutheran, signed as a free agent, and has had a great day. Anytime you score 2 touchdowns against a defense like the Raiders, you have had a great day. Don Woods and Lydell Mitchell are your setbacks on 3rd down and 4. Fouts has hardly been touched today, and has Joyner, who can't pick up the ball off the shoe tops at the 39-yard line. Pass was not perfect, but all, I believe, Paul Warfield, is certainly catchable.
The pass was not a perfect one, but it certainly was a catchable ball. It wasn't a difficult catch, although the ball was low. Joyner is a very experienced wide receiver. He finds the open spot in the zone, just can't quite come up with the catch. San Diego is going to have to punt the ball. Raiders get it back, and there's still plenty of time left.
14 of 22 for Ken Fouts. He's had a good day. Jeff West is in to kick the ball away. 4th down and 5. West standing on his 10. No flag as West is down. Now there is a flag down. And they're going to bring it all back. Has to be. They knock down Jeff West. So Dan Fouts will get another shot at it.
Well, Jeff Barnes is a guilty party as he gets into San Diego kicker. It's going to be an automatic 1st down for the Chargers, and they maintain possession of the football.
Well, I'm sure that the San Diego defense is very thrilled about that, because 9:42 to go, it gives them more of a rest along the sideline. And of course, the Chargers will be able to wind down the clock a little bit more in this 20-7 ball game. It has the real makings of a real upset.
Certainly does.
Chargers have been standing right in there, slugging it out. And the Raiders, as they did last week, making mistakes. Not there. I want to tell you, Bo Matthews was hit first of all by Ted Hendricks and then was put down, but Hendricks really plugged up the hole, and Matthews was stopped at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10. There have been 4 turnovers thus far by the Raiders. Around the league today, New England leading St. Louis 16-6. The Cardinals under Bud Wilkinson have not won one yet. Patriots trying to win their first. Miami and Baltimore 35-0. Miami winning its first. The Jets trailing Buffalo 20-14 after their big win over Miami a week ago. 2nd down and 10. Clock continues to run. 9 minutes to go. Dan Fouts back. Has the time knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Hands went up and knocked it down. Fouts has been sacked only once. That time couldn't get the ball up and over that big line. It looked like John Matuzak is the man who got his hands on the ball.
Well, the Raider defense is certainly responding to the challenge. They're not going to let San Diego maintain possession of this football. John Matuzak plays off the blocker, gets his hands up and above and in Fouts' face, and bats the pass down.
A couple of more scores. It is still 3-0, and there's 2 teams that don't score too much. And San Francisco hanging on. O.J. Simpson against Walter Payton. Fouts back. Fouts delivering the football past Johnny Rodgers at the 40-yard line. That'll be 4th down, and Jeff West, as he was moments ago, back to kick, only to be hit by a Raider, goes in to kick again. So as you said, Paul, the Raider defense is doing the job here, toughening up after the score is 20-7. And the Raider offense, which has been guilty of turning the ball over, will have to get things going. There's still a lot of time to go. 2 touchdowns would do it.
There is some time left in this ball game. 2 touchdowns will do it, but the Raiders are going to have to really get something going on this offensive series. They must score this time.
Last time they looked a little rattled, dropping the ball on the kickoff and then dropping a little swing pass out to the left. West will not have it blocked. Colsey fades back. No fair catch. 28-yard line. Wall on the far side. Cuts through and down he goes. Ridden down across the way by Jerome Doug, a substitute cornerback. 8:44 to go. Chargers lead the Raiders 20-7. We'll come back. A lot of football next week, including Oakland with its third straight road game at Green Bay, and the Chargers going on to Denver. Screen pass overthrew Pete Banaszak. On that kind of play, of course, Stabler was getting pressure as the lineman came filtering in, and he just looped it over the head of Banaszak.
Well, that was an excellent call in that situation. Charger defensive line has been putting a lot of pressure on Stabler, and he's trying to slow the rush down a little bit, but the play wasn't very well timed up between Stabler and Van Eegen.
2nd down and 10 to go. Branch and Biletnikoff both come to the right. Bradshaw, third wide receiver, set back there. Banaszak in to do some blocking. Stabler gets it off and has his man across the way, Bradshaw, and Stringer takes him out of bounds. I believe that'll be a first down in Charger territory at the 44-yard line.
Well, Jim, they had 4 wide receivers, or 4 receivers in the ball game. They had Morris Bradshaw lined up at a running back position. He started motion left. They also had Casper at tight, and they had Biletnikoff and also Cliff Branch on the same side, the right side in the slot formation. So they have 4 receivers in the ball game at this point.
Ray Doday is pointing from this side of the field that it is a first down. They've not moved the sticks, and someone may have called for a measurement. Doday kept saying it's first down. He is the headlinesman. He is carrying the chains in the middle there. And look at the difference. 80 yards. Well, what is it? You can do it better than I can. Almost 80 yards difference in total offense thus far. And it is a first down. Doday was right. 8.5 minutes to go. 20-7. Chargers jumped out to the lead, tied by the Raiders in the second quarter. The half ended 13-7 San Diego. No scoring in the third quarter. And Hank Bauer scored his second touchdown in the fourth quarter after a drive of 65 yards to make it 20-7. And these are the first downs. And the Raiders have done a lot of this to themselves. Give credit to the Chargers, but the Raiders have committed 4 turnovers. Pump by. Look at the play. Touchdown. There's that man Bradshaw again. And Stabler made the perfect pump and then released. And all of a sudden, with 8:26 to go, you got to say, wait a minute.
That's right. On this play, it looked like defensive back Hal Stringer was in pretty good position. When the ball was thrown, it was very high. Stringer turned around. It looked like momentarily that he lost the ball in the sun. I'm not sure whether it's true or not. He turns his back. Bradshaw cuts in front of him simply, takes it on the run, and strides the final few yards for the score.
Bradshaw takes it in.
Here's a shot of the secondary. Here's Stringer going over to pick up Bradshaw, but he gets sort of lost to turn him turned around. Bradshaw makes the catch for the 6-pointer.
Very important extra point here for Earl Mann to make, which he does, which makes it 20-14, which means that a touchdown, of course, and the extra point of the Raiders can go ahead. 44-yard touchdown pass. 8:26 to go, and it's not over yet. John Madden is doing what comes naturally. John always has a lot to say, and he's talking to Tom Kelleher there, but his team is very much back in this ball game. Time permitting, NFL report with highlights and all of today's scores once this game is over. Well, Paul Warfield said that the Raiders would have to score on that possession. They must have heard you. They already knew it anyway. They did score. 44-yard touchdown pass. And now that Charger offense will be charged with holding onto the football. Very dangerous kick returner. Johnny Rodgers getting outside, picking up good yardage for him, putting his head down, and a good 25 to 26-yard return for Rodgers out to the 31-yard line. And now the Chargers, looking at the clock, realize that they better generate something.
Well, the Chargers just cannot rely on the clock. They must not only control this football, but they must score. either 3 points or 6 points, because the Raiders have a very explosive offense and they can put points on the board in a hurry.
They missed, meaning the Chargers, a 29-yard field goal attempt, and they missed an extra point, which has even deeper trouble than they might have been. First down. Whoops, no place to go. Lydell Mitchell finds out that it's tough to run the football against those Raiders, but being in the American Football Conference, he's known that for some time. Stacked up well by Monty Johnson. No gains, 2nd down and 7. And that's just the kind of score, or play I should say, that the Raiders won. Malone has scored on a 5-yard run. It's 42-0, and they've still got 7 minutes to go in that ball game. Miami leading Baltimore. Benny Malone. He's written down Maloney, but Benny Malone will, pardon me. Fouts with time, delivers the football, has Rodgers. No good, incomplete at the 47-yard line. With Charles Phillips over to defend on the play. And now Fouts and company are in trouble. It is 3rd down and 10. They must hold on to the football, or with better than 7 minutes to go, they'll give it back to dangerous Oakland.
It looks like the Raiders will get the football in pretty good field position if they're able to hold San Diego on this down.
And now, referring back to what we said on NFL 78, we have seen number 83, John Jefferson, the rookie out of Arizona State, come in. He's going out to the right side of your screen. Let's see if Fouts, who has all the confidence in the world in this rookie, goes to him or to Charlie Joyner. He's looking. He gets the ball away to Don Woods, who cannot hold on to it. It would not have been a first down. The pressure is so great. The coverage is so good. Fouts could only come to the back coming out of the backfield. And now Jeff West will have to kick it away again. And 7:24 now show. And Fouts is now 14 for 27. At one time, he was 14 for 22. And Colsey goes back. And the Raiders now, and I'm sure their fans back home are thinking, this is the moment. We're down only by 6. We're getting the football back, and there's a lot of time to go.
Certainly is, and the momentum really has shifted within the last several minutes of this ball game.
It has been the Chargers nearly all the way until now. West gets the ball away. Not a great kick. It'll bound at about 35 and go out of bounds on a 33.5-yard line. No, not bad field position at all for the Raiders, who trot onto the field after that 32-yard punt by Jeff West. 20-14, the Chargers. Bradshaw right and Branch to the left. And Van Egan making a nice run after nearly being trapped inside the 35. He gets out to the 38-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Dean and Johnson put him down.
Well, the Oakland Raiders go back to their other strategy. After getting the quick touchdown, they're going back to the ground game with Mark Van Egan. They want to use up as much time on the clock as possible, but yet they want to move towards the goal line.
And on 2nd down and 6, Paul, they brought in a 3rd wide receiver. You now have Bradshaw, Branch, and Biletnikoff in there, as well as Casper. Last time, remember, Bradshaw swung out in motion from his backfield spot and does so again. And Stabler goes back. Looking for Casper and throws just by him as Don Good, the linebacker, was pursuing him.
Well, the new rule this year was supposed to give David Casper a little bit more freedom, but he finds it pretty rough going getting out of here. It's a good chuck right there. Looks for the ball. The ball's thrown a little bit hurriedly. Just can't pick it up. Stabler was really rushed on that play also.
Well, here's a play. 3rd down and 5. 6:26 to go. Chargers want desperately to stop them. The Raiders want desperately to get the first down. It's 3rd down. Bradshaw in motion to the right this time. Is looking toward Bradshaw. Delivers the ball to Casper. Cannot hold on to it. It would have been a first down at the 46-yard line. Ball a little thrown past him, but Casper got his hands out and could not hold on to it.
He certainly did. Looked like Casper was going to come up with another fine catch, but linebacker Bob Horn was there. Johnny on the spot. Made it difficult for David. The ball was thrown just over Horn's hands, and Casper couldn't quite get it. Still plenty of time.
4th down, Fuller goes deep. Guy is back to punt. He's been averaging nearly 47 yards a punt. Fuller is deep. 14, the Chargers. Ray Guy puts his foot into another beauty. He had a 69-yarder. Fuller at the 8-yard line comes straight back upfield, gets across the 20 to about the 21. Now Dan Fouts will try to get the Chargers out there and try to eat off some of the time on the clock. The Pittsburgh Steelers undefeated. San Diego hoping to be undefeated, and Oakland trying to win its first at Green Bay, and Green Bay's undefeated. Fouts is back. Fouts loops it out. Oh, he's got his man here. That's Don Woods. Woods gets important yardage at the 30-yard line. It'll be second down and very short. It is very close to a first down even now at the 30-yard line. And the clock shows 6 minutes exactly left to go.
That's the kind of yardage that the Chargers need to control this football, picking up 8 or 9 yards on first down. That makes the play selection or the call on second and third down a little bit easier.
Johnny Rodgers brings the play in from the bench. Rodgers comes out to the left, Joyner to the right. Second down in inches. Don Woods trying to get those inches. Hendricks dragged him down. Ted Hendricks, you've seen him do that a lot of times, has done it a couple of times today. Put his hands out, and with his sheer strength, he's tall but not too heavy, but with his sheer strength simply pulled the running back down. And Don Woods is no small man at 204 pounds.
Ted Hendricks is noted for that kind of play. Fine linebacker, has great range. He just can't seem to outrun the length of his arms.
Well, that's how far they go. The left hand there of Mark Bright, the referee, is that far from the stake, and it's another big third down play. And here comes Hank Bauer in again, along with Lawrence Barnes. And the guess from up here, and I think we're allowed a guess or two, aren't we, would be that Hank Bauer, who's gotten the tough yardage each time he's carried it, twice for touchdowns, and once when it looked like he was going to be hit in the backfield by Villapiano, had made good yardage. At 37 would get the ball. But they've got 3 backs in there now and 2 setbacks. Matthews stays in. He's had a good day. Let's see, third and inches. And it's Matthews. Guess is wrong, but the call is right as Matthews gets the first down. Out to the 33-yard line. The clock continues to run. 5.5 minutes to go.
Well, the Chargers are going to run a little more time off the clock. They gained a first down. They need at least 2 more first downs. Get the ball at least across the 50-yard line before they can start to rest a little bit easy.
On the far sideline, the Raider offense just hoping for a chance to get the football back, and soon. First down for the Chargers. Fouts. Fouts is going for the sideline, and there's the man. Johnny Joyner. Second catch of the day, but what a big catch. At the 48-yard line, first down, yet another first down.
Not only was this a big catch, but Charlie Joyner went out of bounds, and that's going to create a little bit of problem for the Chargers because it stops the clock. But it was a big catch. He gets the ball across the 50-yard line, and pretty soon they're going to be moving into field goal territory.
21 first downs for the Chargers, and a field goal would be sufficient for them, perhaps. They'd rather have a touchdown, but a field goal certainly would help. Raiders are trying to put the stoppers on the Chargers. The blitz is on. The Woods has the football, and Woods makes good yardage. 6 or 7 yards and moves into Raider territory, and now the clock continues to roll. 4 minutes and counting. Less than 4 minutes.
Okay, we're going to take a look at Phil Villapiano. He's moving laterally across field, searching out and trying to get to the ball. He usually gets to the ball and gets his man. Oakland is starting to use a few gambling defenses now. They're sending a few people, some of their linebackers, and they're trying to get the ball away from the San Diego Chargers.
Well, Matthews gets a rest. Hank Bauer, 37, takes his place. Look at the difference in rushing. Second down and 3 to go. And there's Hank Bauer, and Bauer is close to the first down. Matuzak rolls him down at the 42-yard line, very near a first down.
We're seeing some character in the San Diego Charger offensive line and also in their running backs. This is the time that they really need to be tested, see if they can come through, and they're maintaining possession of the football.
Bauer reminds me of the kind of running that Pete Banaszak of Oakland does and Don McCauley of Baltimore does. You need that short, tough yardage. Give it a and he has picked up yet another first down at the 42-yard line. 3 minutes and 10 seconds in this 20-14 upset in the making. Rogers to the right, Jordan to the left, but the Chargers have to hold on to the football. Stabler and Peverly are lethal. And Fouts has his man. Woods knocked down immediately, but he picked up 4 or 5 yards before Monty Jackson, playing that right cornerback spot almost since Willie Brown was called for an illegal chuck back in the first half. Jackson, the All-Pro, who went to San Diego State and was with the Rams.
Monty Jackson read that play real well. He was right up there to make the tackle. I wouldn't advise Dan Fouts to throw that one too many more times because he may guess right with him.
Second down and about 6 to go. Jefferson back in. Joyner has made 2 clutch catches today. Is to the left. Fouts hands to Matthews, and there's Matuzak. John Matuzak has knocked down a pass. Has upended a ball carrier twice in the last half dozen or more plays the Chargers have had offensively. Time has been called, and we're down to the 2-minute mark. When we come back, it's 3rd down 7. It's not over yet, and these two men know it. John Madden on the left trying to avoid a 2nd consecutive loss. Tommy Prothro on the right trying to engineer a 2nd consecutive win. The computer expert, Bud Goody, came up with a 20-17 Oakland win, but said that if Oakland ran the ball 48 times, that Oakland would win the ball game by 2 touchdowns. Well, we'll check to see how many times Oakland has run the ball thus far, because the computer said if they run 48 times, they'll win by 2 touchdowns. 3rd down, 7 to go. The ball just inside the 40-yard line. 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Chargers have the football in the lead. Jefferson to the right and Joyner to the left. Hands the ball off. Woods carries the ball for a couple of yards, and we're going to have another one of those 3rd down and nearly 5-yard situations again. Bauer comes in. Artie Owens comes in. Oh, that's 4th down. I beg your pardon. 4th down. They all come in. Jeff West out there. The ball at the 37-yard line. On 3rd and 5, they picked up perhaps a yard. And Jeff West letting that clock run. Let's see if he runs it to the 25-second mark and takes the penalty and just takes an extra 5 yards or not. Waiting. Nope, he did not take the penalty. He does angle it, goes straight up in the air. This will be a tough kick because it goes way out of bounds, and Jeff West gets not too much yardage, only about 12 yards, 15 yards, 17 yards on the punt. A 17-yard punt. Well, 1 minute, 7 seconds to go. Can the Raiders do it? Well, we're trying to figure out how many times Oakland has run the ball. The computer said if they ran the ball 48 times, they'd win by 2 touchdowns. The press box says Oakland has only run the ball 18 times. And our statistician says 20. They haven't run it anywhere close. And you know doggone well, it's Stabler's back to throw now. Stabler throws for Casper, and off his right hand, the ball was thrown past Dave Casper. Stops the clock. 1 minute and 1 second to go. And it is 2nd down, 10 from the 20-yard line.
All right, here's the pass again. They've got 4 receivers in the ball game, and that gives them a little less protection to work with. Stabler hurried the ball. It was off the fingertips of Dave Casper.
You know, we're right. Oakland has run the ball only 18 times in this ball game. Last year, when San Diego upset them, they ran the ball 58 times. They've run the ball 53 times today. Stabler back. He's got to go long, and look out, it may be intercepted up for grabs, and Bradshaw comes down with it. Bradshaw comes down with it. Bradshaw at the 32-yard line, and it stops the clock as Morris steps out of bounds at the 32. With 54 seconds to go, and they've got a 1st down.
Well, that play could have gone either way. San Diego certainly had good coverage on this play, but Bradshaw, ball's batted up in the air right there. Bradshaw has enough presence to stay with it catch the ball, and then get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Jerome Dove, who had a chance at it, put him out of bounds. Oh, 54 seconds to go. 20-14. San Diego, Oakland. Stabler over the middle. Banaszak, his money player. Another first down across the 45-yard line, out to the 46. Time quickly called. 45 seconds to go. And they're 54 yards away. And because of the length, and we don't mind it because it's been an exciting game, the Sperry Rand NFL report will not be seen today. Pete Banaszak coming out of the backfield.
Pete Banaszak fakes a block right here and then slides right out into the pattern. Stabler looks downfield, then fires the ball to Banaszak, and Banaszak gets a nice block from Dave Casper. You don't quite see it. He carries for an extra 3 or 4 more yards before being brought down.
Stabler talking to John Madden. Final score, Miami 42. Baltimore's failed to score in their first 2 games and have given up 80 points. Other scores. Cleveland defeated Cincinnati 13-10. Pittsburgh took Seattle 21-10. Dallas over the New York Giants 34-24. Washington beat Philadelphia 35-30. Houston beat Kansas City 20-17. Green Bay took New Orleans 28-17. New England leads St. Louis, 4th quarter 16-6. More scores in a moment, but we've got 45 seconds to go in this one. At the 46-yard line, Stabler back. Has time, pumps, throws over the middle. Joe Stewart, the rookie out of Missouri, inside the 30-yard line, down to the 27-yard line. Hold it, that's Raymond Chester. Not number 80, but rather number 88, Raymond Chester. And Glenn Edwards makes the tackle.
Well, Oakland seems to just have a surplus of pass receivers, and that's Raymond Chester, a big guy who can make the catch and can go all the way.
33 seconds to go.
Chester lined up tight that time, got by the linebacker who was lined up right on his head and on his nose, worked his way free down the middle for another big gainer, and Oakland is down inside of San Diego territory.
50 seconds to go. The New York Jets have gone out in front of Buffalo 21-20 on Richard Todd's 3rd touchdown pass, his 2nd to Jerome Barker. Los Angeles now leads Atlanta 10-0 with 7 minutes to go. Colin Bryant has scored the game's only touchdown on a 1-yard run. And San Francisco has fallen behind to Chicago 16-13 with 3.5 minutes to go in that ball game. Our score is 20-14. San Diego, 33 seconds to go. First down at the 27, and you know, I know, everybody knows it takes a touchdown and the extra point for the Raiders to win this one. Field goal does no good at all. First down. Stabler loops it downfield and past Raymond Chester. Chester having to be guarded by the outside linebacker, Don Good. Stops the clock. It took 2 seconds off the scoreboard.
Well, it only took 2 seconds off the scoreboard clock, but Stabler had to throw that ball a little bit sooner than he really wanted to. The Raiders are employing this 4-receiver offense right now. It gives them one less blocker in the backfield. San Diego's applied a lot of pressure to Ken Stabler all day long, and Stabler had to get rid of the ball in a hurry in that instance.
Stop the clock. Letnikoff, line to the right. Stabler back. Stabler has a lot of time and throws, and Letnikoff comes back and takes the ball inside the 15-yard line at the 14-yard line, and that is a first down with 16 seconds to go. And that ball was right off the shoe tops of Letnikoff. But as Paul Warfield and everybody's been saying for some time, it is a money ball player, Letnikoff, and he made a money catch.
Well, you just know in troubled times that Ken Stabler is going to go to number 25. He's made a lot of these catches just like this, the impossible kind. But time and time again, he makes it. Here's another look at Stabler. He's looking all the way for Fred Letnikoff. Waits, recocks, throws the ball. Letnikoff comes back, makes a great catch. 16
seconds to go. Executive producer of NBC's football is Don Omeyer. Today's telecast produced by David Stern, directed by Barry Stoddard. Technical director Wayne McDonald, associate director Jim Marcioni, as we're going to have to leave you in a hurry And I would imagine the Chargers might say, get out of here now and call a game right now. This is tough. 16 seconds to go. The Raiders have rushed for 84 yards only, but Stabler has passed for 265 yards. The Wonderful World of Disney's, and I love the name of the show, Donald Duck Quacks Up, will be seen immediately on most of these stations following the conclusion of our telecast today. Branch to the left, Biletnikoff to the right. 15 seconds to go. Stabler back. Stabler looks into the end zone, and it's overthrown. Biletnikoff back there. Fine defensive play by Mike Williams also, number 29. 10 seconds to go in this 20-14 ball game. Stops the clock.
Stabler's going back. He's looking again for Fred Biletnikoff, but Mike Williams just holds his position and makes a fine play on the ball and bats the ball away from Freddie's hands at the last moment. There's another look at it from a different angle. Biletnikoff, well shadowed by Mike Williams.
Give a lot of credit to that offensive line of the Raiders. Stabler's having time to throw, and that is dangerous. Bradshaw comes wide to the right. Bradshaw wide to the right. Stabler back to throw. Stabler now being harassed for the first time and gets rid of the ball. Ball is loose, still loose. Picked up, kick into the end zone. And we'll see what happens. There was something touchdown. Can you believe it? Touchdown Raiders. Touchdown Raiders.
That's almost unbelievable.
You will not believe the replay when you see it. The ball was ruled not a forward pass, but a fumble by Stabler, which should have given the ball up. But it was kicked around and wound up in the end zone. There is no time left on the clock. They've still got to kick the extra point. It is 20-20. Crow's coming out. You won't believe it.
Here's the play again. Stabler's going back in the pocket. Can't find anybody open. He starts to slide out of the pocket. Number 51, Woodrow Lowe is after him. Hits his arm. Knocks the ball out of his hand. The ball is now loose. Banaszak can't hold on to it. The ball is sort of pushed forward. There's Dave Casper trying to find the handle, and he just simply falls on it in the end zone for 6 points for the Raiders.
Arrowman, time is out. If he makes it, the ball game is over. The Raiders win it. If he doesn't make it, we go into overtime. The crowd wondering how such a thing could happen. The kick is up and good, and the Raiders have won it. Oakland wins it 21-20 on an unbelievable play. A great defensive play turned into a touchdown for the Oakland Raiders. Well, Southern California upset, Northern California happy, and the rest of the country amazed. And let's look at it one more time, or maybe two more times.
The San Diego Sheriff's Office asks that you please drive very carefully on your way home.
Okay, here's Ken Stabler dropping back into the pocket. He slides out of the pocket. He's being pursued by Woodrow Lowe. Lowe hits his arm. He does not throw the ball forward. The ball pops out of his hands. Banaszak tries to pick it up. He can't get it. There's Casper. He's trying to pick it up, and finally he just falls on it. Unbelievable play. Here's Stabler again. One more look at this unbelievable play in the last second. Stabler looking for someone, still looking, has the ball jarred out of his hand. Banaszak tries to pick it up, but he cannot pick the ball up. And there in the end zone, David Casper falls on it.
Some people may say Banaszak shoveled the ball. I think if you look again as we back up and watch Casper there, if we can go a little bit more, it looked as though Banaszak, as he got it, was hit, and that's why the ball went forward. Whatever. The ball was ruled by the officials down there as that it is a touchdown for the Raiders, and you'll see this on every highlight all week long and in the nightmare streams of Tommy Prothrow.
Okay, one more look at it here. Banaszak comes into the picture, but he is being hit by number 71 there. That's Lindsey Mason.
Can you believe the fact that after 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and a fumble, that the Chargers finally came up with a fine defensive play, forcing Stabler to fumble, only to have the fumble turned into a touchdown by Casper. 21-20, Oakland, unbelievable. I'm Jim Simpson with Paul Warfield.
It was the pass that the Oakland Raiders never threw that set off the most unusual game-winning play of 1978.
Oakland trails 20-14. 10 seconds left. The crowd takes up a chant of defense. Robisky and Banaszak are the back. Slot right. Branch inside. Bradshaw, Stabler back. Here comes the rush. He sidesteps. Can he throw? He can't. The ball flipped forward is loose. A wild scramble. 2 seconds on the clock. Casper grabbing the ball. It is ruled a fumble. Casper has recovered in the end zone. The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. They said yes. Get your big butt out of here. He does. There's nothing real in the world anymore. The Raiders won the football game. The Chargers are standing, looking at each other. They don't believe it. Nobody believes it. I don't know if the Raiders believe it. It's not real. 52,000 people minus a few lonely Raider fans are stunned. A man would be a fool to ever try and write a drama and make you believe it. This one will be relived forever.